Theory creaking open, baby.
Yo, welcome to the screen where the plot gets bent. Julie B deep dives, not just for content. She don't react, she dissects those threads from the lens, catching clues y'all missed when the credits end. What you know about freeze framing frames and while you blinking, she building an evidence drum. Got a notebook thicker than the lore itself, and a chat full of nerds with a mental health shelf. Yeah, she sees the glitch, peep the double cross. You just watching TV, she talk to the boss. Every theory and thesis, no throwaway guess. While y'all on season 1, she in season 8. Said rewind it slow it, zoom in enhance. Julie B caught the symbol in the window glance. While you tweeting what just happened like a clown, she already made a flow chart, color coded breakdown.
They don't die like us, they don't vibe like us. They binge and they bounce, we revive that trust. They skip intros, we rarely frame. You watch shows, we decode the game. They don't die like us, nah, they don't die like us.
She cracked Severance before y'all knew it was deep. Predicted the Last of Us deaths in her sleep. When the camera pans, she ain't blinking once. Catch a ghost in the glass, call it theory punch. Watch parties lit like apocalypse nights. Call-ins while they bringing alien rights.
Hey Julie, I think the trees are spies. Well, I have a spreadsheet that confirms that, guys.
Zoom in, boom in, she moving through clues. Spinning Discord in the courtrooms, Lord of views. Got mods with receipts. Time stands with heat. Every rewatch turns into a Reddit elite. You stuck on the surface, we beneath with maps. Cross-referencing lore with the rector's caps. If your fave show got secrets, don't be dumb. Julie got the chalkboard out in From's where it's from.
They don't dive like us, they don't vibe like us. They skim the edge, we inside that crust. They zone out, we zone in the pain. You say plot twist, we say nope, chain. They don't dive like us, nah, they don't dive like us. What's that?
That ain't a blooper, that's a plot thread. You thought it was a shadow? She thought it was a coded message from season 3. And she's probably right. Step this way if your mind's unbent. Step that way if your theories pay rent. Say Julie B, deep dive queen. Now zoom, scroll, theorize, pull. Ain't no rabbit hole safe once she got the cloud.
They don't die like us.
Hey there, it's Julie B Deep Dives. I'm here with Doc and Scarlet for our first FROMacademy in a very long time. I think it's been, by my count, approximately 7 weeks since we've done this. We've been on hiatus for a long time, and I've really missed doing these, and I'm really glad to finally be back. I was on a long trip, 6 weeks away from home, and then last week just getting my bearings, being back again. So I'm so glad to be back.
Greetings, dear denizens of planet Dirt. Yes, it's very good to be back.
Yeah. Have you been in exile? Have you been in exile on your home planet, Doc?
Yeah, I've been in exile on my own home planet.
Well, you've been unleashed, and maybe a new impending invasion to planet Earth here, or planet Dirt. Or
Yeah, Vibrant Numeral said she's going to put in a request for me with your leaders. So, you know, maybe I might have a chance here. Oh, speaking of, hi, Vibrant.
Oh. Scarlet, are you trying to talk? Or maybe there's a delay. Now we hear you.
Okay.
Yes.
I couldn't see my little gray spear rolling around my fairy body, so.
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's not lighting up when she talks.
That's odd. Yeah. Well, we hear you.
But you can hear me.
Yes.
Okay, good. Great.
Strange.
Huh.
Okay. Well,
StreamYard does strange things.
Yes.
Mhm.
Glad to be back on here, StreamYard glitches aside. And I saw in the chat earlier, Stevens was first in the chat, but sadly, some of the comments got deleted. I didn't do it. YouTube, for some reason, cuts off some of the early
Yeah.
comments. I think sometimes when I'm late or I push the time back at all, it cuts off some of the comments, unfortunately. So, but Doc was looking at the comments and saw some of Michael's early ones that got cut off. So that was cool. Because Michael was in here with some ideas already on Martin. We're going to be finishing. I think we're going to be able to finish up Martin this week, but I don't know. But we're at the very least we're doing part 2 on the mystery that is Martin, the legendary Martin, who has had only like 3 total. I believe it's 3 total episodes where he appeared on the show, and yet he made such a huge impact. He was at the very end of one episode, and then he was featured predominantly in the next one in season 2, and then one in season 3, shockingly, making a return. So, he made such a big splash because he's the one who changed the whole game for us. He's the one who first said that the monsters are only the tip of the spear, and I mean, it just made everybody's heads explode. There's something
Not
worse
literally.
than the monsters. Yeah, not literally.
I think I remember in season 3 when we were doing lives, we didn't even think that actor was going to come back because there was this rumors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
most people didn't think so.
I thought it had to be a
Or at least a
mistake.
bunch of people did.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we were done with Martin. And I thought IMDb must be wrong. But
Then we got that story walking surprise.
yeah, I couldn't believe it. Martin, the return of Martin, and who knows, maybe we might see him again. I wouldn't rule it out now,
Mhm.
but I'm not sure. I would never say never, because I was saying never before, and then he came back. So but yeah, he said the monsters are only the tip of the spear, and yeah, it just completely changed the whole game. It expanded the mystery box so much just with that one statement. Like, what's okay, who or what is holding the spear? What's controlling the monsters? That's so much worse. Can we even believe him in what he's saying? And is anything he's saying true? So many questions. And we're gonna dive back into that again and maybe be able to wrap it up tonight. We'll see what we can do. Can't be on here till dawn anymore. I gotta take better care of myself, but I got at least 2.5 hours in me. We'll see how it goes. So let's see. Doc, were you gonna say something? Did I
Nope.
cut you off? No? Okay.
Nope, you did not.
Okay. Hello to Michael. Michael had some comments earlier already. One of our most avid theorists in the From community, and so glad that that you're able to make it, and that you're able to stay up for these all night lives. It's awesome. And Michael said it's perhaps not entirely for no reason that the man in yellow commented on that Jade really can play, making a bit of a musical reference, maybe linking him subtly to the music box as well via music. Okay. So I'm getting this a little out of context because I missed, it cut off some of the early messages.
Well, I've got everything screenshotted, like the earlier messages and everything. Michael actually sent me the ones from before.
You
From
want to,
way
okay.
earlier.
Would you like
So
to read them?
yeah, let's go through just say hi to everyone, read the small talk first, and then we'll get to Michael's Martin theories. I feel like we got
Yeah.
a really nice section right there. Michael's got a lot of meat for us to dig into. So I think that, oh my God, that didn't sound right. But anyway,
After dark.
Yeah.
If Doug Hughes' novel didn't make us all sweaty,
right?
Right?
this might.
Yeah, some steamy scenes there. Yes. Okay, then let's say hey to the chat before we dive into that, because Michael just hit the ground running with some theories. Hi Amy, hope you're doing well. Nice to see you.
Hi, Amy.
And let's see. And
Oh,
sorry,
and sorry
huh?
to interrupt. Oh, I just wanted to ask Amy to drop a link to whatever she's working on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Amy, feel free to drop the link to whatever it is you're working on, and we're happy to support. And I was just gonna say sorry for the lateness. That's my fault. I've been in the throes of packing everything I own to move very far away, and it's it's pretty overwhelming. I don't have much time in which to do it, so that is the reason for the lateness in this case. But let's see. Scrolling down. I'm scrolling down a bit here to find out. I know Vibrant Numerals was in here. Michael said, Julie B. Deep Dive Queen, where she be? Guess we'll see. Tee. Okay, I'm done. Some nice Dr. Seussian kind of poetry there. Amy's like, you finished, Michael? Yeah, I think I got it out of my system. Yeah, as long as it was good for you. Too funny. Oh, yeah, this is so weird. The Michael having writing this in the chat, where to party at, because like I was literally just listening to that song. That's a weird coincidence. Anyway, um yes, my presence was nearing Amy chanting for me. Uh, hey Kelly, nice to see you. So great to see everybody. Vibrant Numerals, hello, nice to see you. So awesome to see you, one of the newer members of our little community here. And we can make sure we drop your link as always to your channel. Anyone who's interested in checking out numerology, and this is the channel to go to. So take a look at Vibrant Numerals channel. We'll find the link and drop it in the chat. Let's see. Did I miss anybody? Let me just make sure. I think I got everybody. So let's oh, thank you so much, Amy. Yes, please like and subscribe. I'm trying to inch my way to 2,000 subscribers. I've been pretty stuck for a while, but I haven't been covering a new show since the Institute, and let's face it, the Institute was kind of a dud for a lot of people. So I'm not really surprised that I couldn't really use that as a means to get new subscribers. But I was so hoping. I had high hopes, but alas, that wasn't to be. Maybe Welcome to Derry will be that show, and it would be cool to hit that 2,000 sub mark. So if anyone is watching who
practice
isn't
victory
subscribed,
dance.
what?
You can practice your victory dance.
Yes, yeah, I can.
The dance you'll do when you hit 2K.
Yeah, yeah. So maybe it'll be during Welcome to Derry. You never know. And please hit the like button. Thank you, Amy, for the support. Thank you so much. Um, and let's see. Oh yeah, Amy's got her SoundCloud link here. Amy makes really cool music on her SoundCloud. So check that out. And check out Vibrant Numerals channel. Here's the link right here. Thank you, Doc. And we have Karl here joining us on the panel. So
Hey, Karl.
yeah, Karl is here. Using a new device, so might just be getting his bearings here, but he'll jump in whenever he feels like it. Yeah. Yeah.
Very difficult to hear him. He's coming
Yeah, he's very
across really
quiet.
softly.
Yeah, he's on a new device. He'll join, he'll say hi in a little bit. But he's here and present and accounted for. So Anyway, let me scroll back up to the top, and Doc, you can take it away with Michael's early comments
Okay.
that got cut off here.
All right. So let's see here. It says, anyway, I'm slowly coming to the conclusion that there's a non-zero probability that the man in yellow could be the manifestation of the cicada music box entity. Sarah said it was laughing about Boyd bringing it back to town and setting it free, and perhaps not entirely for no reason that the man in yellow commended on Jade. Well, commended on Jade that Jade really can play, making a bit of musical reference, maybe linking him subtly to the music box as well via music. And there'd been speculation that the man in yellow somehow had been set free, but also some question of whether or not he was simply hiding out until needed. Um, it hiding out till needed. If the townies, okay, if the townies or the two parents got too far. But if he was set free at some point, and that's why we hadn't seen him before now, I think that Boyd bringing the cicada entity back to town and setting it free might be the best candidate for that. So that's where my thinking is trending. As to Martin, I think Martin is just Martin, an unfortunate fellow who got by the cicadas in the last cycle or something. Perhaps one of their three chosen by the cicadas, but yep, perhaps he was one of the three chosen by the cicadas, but not lucky enough to get rescued like Marielle, Julie, and Randall. So they fed on him and his compatriots, and was just the last of the three left standing or hanging. And it seems like Martin kind of put down his burden and passed it to Boyd, along with a very little bit of knowledge. And in visual metaphor, when Boyd leaves, he grabs a torch off the wall, which might be seen as symbolic passing of the torch from Martin to Boyd. Suppose in my diatribes above, I didn't mention the mythological parallels of Martin to Tithonus in Greek mythology, a parable about the perils of getting immortality, but not also eternal youth, which runs kind of in parallel with the monsters who sacrificed their children for immortality, but somewhere along the way lost their humanity and became monsters. Not unlike Tithonus, becoming basically a withered living corpse. Not unlike Martin, who's chained up, fed on by the cicada nymphs, and basically a similarly weathered husk. His compatriots already turned into husks, withered, and died. And of course, part of the myth, and of course, part of the myth is that the goddess who was his lover eventually had him turned into, get this, a cicada, which were thought to endlessly rejuvenate by shedding their skins. So he sort of escaped his fate ish, but was also sort of still trapped in the form of a cicada. So I think Martin is part monster metaphor and part vessel for the cicada entity, which may or may not be the man in yellow, who may or may not have been thusly released or freed by Boyd and returned to town. And I think Martin himself is just Martin, an unfortunate prior townie from the last cycle, one of the three, if the one resorts back to the nursery rhyme. But the entity ends up controlling him and speaking through him, for instance, messing with Boyd via talking about his wife. Seems like the entity knows the goings on of Fromville. Unclear whether the entity is entirely trapped in a sense, while in the nymph larval form and feeding on one of the three, or if it is still somehow partly cognizant of goings on in town, which would seem to imply not being entirely trapped. Or if the entity is mostly or entirely free, but using the nymphs in some sort of way to feed on the three and or possess them intermittently. Seems like Martin knows they're coming, for example, or going to take over, And let's see. I thought there was more. Oh, okay. And let's see here. Oh, or did I already get this? Okay, I already got that part. Then he has another part here. Oh, wait, actually, this is about the boy in white, not Martin. Okay, so that's for another session. Very interesting stuff, though. And Michael, did I get everything just about?
I think there
Or was
are
there anything else?
here. I see a few here that I think that you didn't get. So let's see. That's most of them. Let's see. Michael had said so maybe Boyd can now fight the good fight in his stead. Semper Fi, hoorah. Now whether or not the cicada entity / man in yellow, if that's what he is the final big bad, or there's an even bigger bad, the original bargain entity, remains to be seen. Now that's the $1 million question, right? Yeah, that's really open to all kinds of debate. Like we don't have enough information to know, but for now, I'm just kind of looking at the man in yellow as our main big bad, and in the end there may be one final one, or there may be some like original big bad who caused the curse to happen. But I think man in yellow is probably what we're looking at here personally. But we'll see. And let's see, is there anything else? I think that's it in terms of Michael's theoretical posts, the early ones, and those are so interesting. Lots of food for thought there. I really liked the tie-in with the I think it's Tithonus myth. That's really interesting, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if the writers were inspired by a mythological figure like that, because there are so many mythological references in this show. So it makes complete sense to me. I really like the tie-in with that. And
What mythological system was that?
Greek, I believe.
Okay.
yes, Greek. Yes.
And
So
yeah, I definitely think that that's probably why they chose the cicadas. It's probably that particular link because it's kind of tied to the same motif of cursed immortality. So it just seems really fitting. So unless that was like a really coincidental happy accident, I think that's very intentional.
absolutely. Yeah. Oh, and I didn't even see, I thought that these weren't in the actual chat, but they were. Yeah, these were the ones about Tithonus in Greek mythology that Doc was reading. Really interesting. A parable about the perils of getting immortality, but also getting immortality, but now also eternal youth. Yeah. But not also eternal youth. So yeah, so like that definitely could have a tie-in to this show. And yeah, so you're getting immortality, but what kind of immortality are you getting? They're the monsters are rotting corpses, like they're rotten on the inside already. They're completely rotten. Yeah, so absolutely that fits in with the monsters. They lost their humanity. Yeah, absolutely. So I like that a lot. I think that fits perfectly. And Tithonus became a withered living corpse, not unlike Martin, right? Absolutely. Fed on by the cicada nymphs. So yeah, it's really interesting stuff. And then this bit about the goddess who was his lover eventually had him turned into a cicada, which were thought to endlessly rejuvenate by shedding their skins. So yeah, the cicadas are symbolic of of immortality. So I can see why the show used cicadas in this storyline. As basically, when Smiley died, I think he essentially became the cicadas that came out of his body. His essence went into the cicadas, his essence kind of lived on in the cicadas until he could be reborn again because he can't die. So yeah, I thought that was really interesting. And yeah, interesting stuff. Yeah, sort of still trapped. So the goddess who was his lover eventually had him turn into a cicada. That's crazy. But was sort of still trapped in the form of a cicada, even though he sort of escaped his fate. Yeah. So I think they're definitely the writers are drawing on a lot of mythology with this show, and I don't think this is coincidental at all. And so yeah, this is the best explanation for Martin I've heard. Part monster metaphor and part vessel for the cicada entity, which may or may not be the man in yellow, who may or may not have been thusly released or freed by Boyd and returned to town. Yeah. And I agree. I personally, I think Martin is just Martin. I don't think that he's some other. I don't think he's Randall. Personally, I don't think he's some future version of Randall. It's fine. Anybody who wants to think that, it's completely valid. But I think he's just Martin personally. And there are all kinds of theories though on who he could be, if he's some character we know or in some other timeline now that time travel has been introduced and whatnot. And is he really trapped? I mean, I don't know. Is this an illusion? Sometimes I question it. Sometimes I question whether he's really trapped or whether he's
I
just
am an illusion.
an illusion, just there to be a mind fuck for Boyd and an entity to infect him with the cicada nymphs.
Yeah, like when he changed his voice that one time and dealing with Julie, that's different than his voice in dealing with Boyd.
Yeah,
A little
right.
sus.
Yeah, he changed his tone when he talked to
Mhm.
Julie, so that was super sus. Yeah, Michael. Thankfully, Doc did screenshot the pre-show chat because for some odd reason, sometimes some of the messages go away, and I didn't even delay the start time of the live, even though I was late. I just let it run. I let it go. I didn't change the time, hoping that the chat messages would stay where they are if I left the time alone, and a few of them still went away. So I have no idea why, but thankfully Doc was on that, on
Well,
top of
actually, Mike and I jinxed. We both did it.
that. He did it too.
And then we both said jinx, but he said it first.
Jinx.
So technically, he was supposed to say my name in order for me to be able to talk, but I'm only counting that towards my human host. So tomorrow, everyone's going to be really confused.
Okay. So Michael said, technically we did hear from Sarah / voice Abby previously that there are worse things out in the forest than the monsters. That's true. Yes. Martin kind of reconfirmed that. Yes, that's true. But yeah, he definitely gave us way more information about there being a larger entity than just the monsters. And that there's something controlling them, that they're the tip of the spear. That means there's something controlling them. So it gives us a lot more detail to chew on. And let's see. Oh, hi, Shadow Skull. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. And Michael said, kind of like the old devil / Jin's bargain that goes sideways due to non-specificity. Absolutely.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the that entity that bargained with him for immortality could be very well be a Jin, like Tony Teflon has theorized. Amy said, what if the cicadas are inside of the man in yellow's coat? Could be. Okay. So with that, I think we're ready to get started. Where would you like to begin tonight, Doc?
Well, I also have a submission from David, but sometimes doesn't he show up later in the evening sometimes?
Sometimes he
Or later
does,
in the
yeah.
morning? So I'll wait a little bit just in case he shows up. And also at the end of the night, before we close, let's see, how long is this? It's not too long. Yeah, no. Would you be okay with doing a wisdom from Robert segment? And I read Robert's newest post. It's
Oh,
unrelated to Martin, but it's kind of mind blowing.
oh, absolutely. I'm
We-
always game for
We
that.
should have a graphic for that, like wisdom of Robert.
Wisdom from
A
Robert.
thumbs up.
Can you sketch that quick and send it to Julie? No, I'm kidding.
I'm not
Kind
sure.
of. Only half kidding.
I don't know what he looks like. That's the thing. I need a picture.
Oh, no, just the words and maybe like some dream bubbles or something, thought bubbles. I don't know. I think of Gandalf for some reason when I think wisdom from Robert.
We're in Robert's mind blowers. Yeah, Robert has one hell of a mind, and so I'm always happy to hear his thoughts. So absolutely, we can set aside a segment to discuss his latest musings and theories.
All right,
So
so then we'll start. Actually, let me send you the link again because it's been so long. Whoop, no, I just lost my place. Here we go. I'm going to send you the link to the folder, and actually, we're only using one file, so I'm just going to send you the link to the file just so you don't have to fish around and worry about getting lost in my maze of folders.
if it's
There we go.
easier and you want to like jump around quickly, you can also share your screen. But it's up to you. I can share mine.
I don't know how well that will work on my Galaxy Note.
Oh, no worries then. I can do it. I can do it.
Okay. Yeah, I sent you the link via Discord. Yeah, that's probably the easiest way for me to do it. So I'm afraid to sometimes when I with the Galaxy Note, if I move out of the window, it like messes up things. Sometimes the headphones, sometimes the microphone, sometimes it kicks me out.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I'm just nervous about touching anything on it.
No worries. Yeah, tablets are really tricky with StreamYard for some reason. So, so where would you like to start in this file?
Let's see. We are on 3 dungeon. I gotta scroll down. Oh, I scrolled too far. All right. So 3, the dungeon and its nature.
Oh, hey, Infinite Umbra. Nice to see you.
Umbra,
It's been a while.
we missed
Our
you.
friend Umbra and yeah, our friend Infinite Umbra. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hope everything's going well with your channel. We'll grab your channel link and drop it in the chat as always. And just say the word anytime you want to jump on at the panel and hang with us. We're gonna be doing more
Absolutely.
from lives in the upcoming months. We'll do, in addition to FROMacademy, I'm gonna definitely need to set aside time for us to finish the From rewatch. I haven't forgotten about that, by the way. We are gonna finish the From rewatch that we stopped months ago, several months ago. We're gonna get back into it. We're halfway through season 2. So we're gonna be doing that. And of course, in the lead up to From season 4, we're gonna be doing lots of From lives. And I'm going to be covering Welcome to Derry starting at the end of October. I think I'm going to start my first one Monday, October 27th, covering the first episode of Welcome to Derry. So, yeah, lots of stuff coming down the pike. And anyway, let's see. Oh, David D. Let's see. Nice to see you, David D. He said, I'm curious, was Martin in seizure mode somewhere when appearing in dungeon because Julie is in full seizure mode while story walking? Um, hmm. He Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, was he like, man, maybe he was somewhere else. His body was somewhere else having a seizure and he's in the dungeon. Yeah, I had never thought of that, but that's possible. Like his actual body's somewhere else and he's there just in spirit. That's entirely possible. Really interesting point, David. Oh, thank you, Karl. Karl dropped a link to Umbra's channel. Thank you for doing that, and of course, always happy to support my fellow content creators. And Umbra, you do an awesome job with your channel. So, yeah, absolutely. Anytime, my friend. And Michael said, have wondered a bit about that too. If there's a body out there somewhere that's in a coma or something. Yeah, regarding Martin, yes. David D said, like in the root cellar. Yeah, there's that mysterious body in the root cellar, and we don't know who the hell that is. So that's a mystery.
Right. I think
Right
they
now,
want us to believe it's Christopher, but we don't really know.
yeah,
They like to throw surprises at us all the time.
yeah, it's a skeleton, and it's wearing jeans and a shirt that looks kind of similar to Jade. So people were all worked up about that, but it's not Jade's shirt. It's not season 1 Jade's shirt. We looked at it closely, and it's definitely not. So yeah, 14 likes. So yes, please hit the like button and help people find the stream. Very much appreciate it. Michael said, guessing dead now that he died in the dungeon / spirit realm. Yeah, Martin, absolutely. Yeah, he wherever. If his real body is somewhere else, then he's probably dead. Oh, thanks, Umbra. Happy to see you doing your thing. Missed you all as well. Awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. We're kind of getting back into it, and it's I've taken a break for just some, big life events happening for me, and so just starting to get back into doing regular lives again, and looking forward to more and covering more shows coming up soon. And yeah, it's awesome to see old friends here. It's still here. Haven't forgotten us. Michael said could be one of the 2 husks on the wall with Martin. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. That's a big, yeah. And they're in various states of decomposure too. The 2 bodies on the wall, they don't look like they died at the same time either. So that's odd. David said just the whole idea of them appearing in dungeon, even Mariel and Randall, if they appear in seizure, why does Boyd walk in physically? It seems like Boyd
Well,
basically kind of hacked it, like he found a hack. That torch allowed him to go in physically into a dream realm.
well, I'm also not convinced that his body wasn't just there in the ruins and his mind was in the dungeon.
I know, right? He might have just been laying there having a seizure and we didn't see it. That's what I've been thinking, like all along. But I don't know. I could see the arguments for both.
Same here.
Yeah, but yeah, because it's possible we just didn't see what was really happening, and he may have been laying there having a seizure the whole time. Michael said, though, why would it be in that room specifically, given it's connected to the rebirth chamber below? Maybe a prior cycle counterpart to Elgin. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what I think, Michael. I think that in a prior cycle, it was a counterpart to Elgin who didn't get out alive, who got trapped in there while in there, trying to help some monster get reborn unwittingly. So that's what I think it is. I definitely think that since it operates in cycles, I think so. That's my opinion for sure. David said, because Boyd is on current timeline, perhaps, and the one in seizure modes are in and out timeline. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's like it seems like it should be against the rules though, for someone to go in there physically. But the torch may have been a hack a way for him to physically go in there. There's precedent for this in literature. What was it I was reading about? It was Lovecraft. Lovecraft came up with a concept called the Dreamlands, and it's a place where you could go in your sleep or you could physically enter into it, but it was more difficult to do. So it could be some kind of a realm like that. Michael said, yeah,
That's
I
what
have
makes
wondered
sense to
that
me
too.
too.
Sorry, what, Doc?
I was just agreeing with you. It's what makes sense to me as well, and I think Tony has agrees with that as well, and he's pretty good on things,
Yeah,
to say the least.
I actually debated Tony once on that when I called into his show. I was telling him that I think that Boyd was having a seizure somewhere and we just didn't see it. And he was adamant that Boyd physically went into the dungeon and there's no question about it. But I really do think that it could go either way. And I mean, I can see the argument for that, for what Tony believes, absolutely. But yeah, I debated him on that, and yeah, it's fun to have friendly debates. It's all in good
I
fun.
I am leaning towards the idea that he was physically there, and that the others, they were more trapped because the cicada monster went and did her reaping or whatever you want to call it of them. And but like Boyd went through one of those trees, so I think it's
Hmm.
likely he was physically there, but there's no telling with this show until they actually well, that's something that they could just bring up at any point to surprise us. But
Yeah,
I don't think
there's
it'd be too relevant anymore. Could be wrong.
no, and it wouldn't be, but it is something that bugs me. How did that work? The way that I looked at it was Boyd went through the tree and landed in the ruins, and we just didn't see him laying in the ruins having a seizure until eventually he wakes up there. He finds him not wakes up there, but he finds himself there and is out. But but maybe not. I mean, maybe he really did just go through a tree and wind up there for real. In the trees, they transport you. They can apparently they can transport you long distances. I mean, maybe they can transport you into the past, and that was a dream state from the past, or like some kind of a wormhole to physically enter the dream state. Who knows? Whatever it is, it does seem to be a unique circumstance, and he was able to physically walk back in using a torch. So, I mean, at least it appears that he did. So, yeah, I at this point, I'm leaning more towards him being physically there. But yeah, there was a time I was arguing pretty hard on the other side of that argument, and I don't mind, shifting shifting my thinking, over time. I think we should be resistant to just holding on to theories for dear life and refusing to see other points of view no matter what. Um,
Oh no, I'm
Michael
still
said,
convinced that it's a giant monster with it's a spider, but also Godzilla somehow.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm dying on this hill.
Gonna die on that hill, huh? My Michael said, yeah, I have wondered that too. When Boyd was transported to the ruins, whether his body went to the ruins and his mind ended up in the dungeon realm, like Julie. It's possible, yeah. That it's hard to say, and there may be some precedent for things like torches and lanterns illuminating hidden places, so may work similarly narratively, right? And that could be how he got back in. Maybe that last time he really did go in physically with the torch. So, okay. David said, I think Boyd is physically there because he is on the current timeline. It's happening for him. The torch is the key. I think when he goes in with the torch, it is current and he's physically there. That I do think that when he goes through the tree, that's where I think it could be what Michael was wondering, that he went through the tree and his body went to the ruins, but his mind or spirit wound up in the dungeon realm. Amy said, I think it's time travel Boyd did with the Torch of Truth. Yeah, a lot of people thought time travel because it looks like an old-timey dungeon. What I think, I think it's basically time travel into a dream state from the past. So I think it's both. It's a dream state and it's time travel. Because
And I feel
it's
like
definitely an old-timey dungeon and it's ruins in the present. Go
and I feel
ahead.
like the sorry about that. I feel like the torch too is also kind of call back to in myths that torches could be used and well, torchlight could be used to reveal a dark fairy or their illusions.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, I like that. Hey Trace, nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. So, so now in this spreadsheet, let's see, where are we? Where did you say we were, Doc?
Sorry, I muted
3?
for a moment.
Are we at
Yep, 3 right there. Yep. And so we're actually already discussing this topic a bit. Um, so yeah, we'll go over. I'm going to go over some theories. They're not mine. Um, Regarding the dungeon and its nature. So the dungeon is a significant location. So we already know it's Martin's prison. It's probably the lair of the music box monster. Um, so some theories about the dungeon, that it's not a physical world. The dungeon is described as not being in the physical world, but rather an astral plane or pocket dimension or something that exists outside of time, which could explain how Julie, Marielle, and Randall could be chained there while their physical bodies remain in town, seemingly comatose. Um, Ellen the Marvelous points out that it's like a box within a box, representing the soul's exile and a place that punishes by awakening or revealing truth. It's an egoic prison that exposes inner shadows, fears, and secret feelings. And um, when Boyd leaves, the dungeon seemingly disappears. So it's got like a disappearing act. And it leaves only the ruins and the torch he used. So was the dungeon itself, well, the ruins, the dungeon at one point? That's kind of what it seems to be implying, but I'm not sure that they match 100%, but depends on how long, how much time it passed, right? And then, well, any comments on that before I move on to time distortion and story walking within the dungeon? I'm not muted, right? Nope, okay. And folks can hear me? Mic check, can folks hear me?
I hear you. You're good.
Oh, okay. All right, because I think Scarlet isn't there either. All right, sorry about that. I got a little nervous that StreamYard did one of its weird things. All right,
Don't
so time
worry.
distortion, and
You're good.
actually this ties right into to Robert's post. So I can actually go from this over to Robert, so he doesn't need his own segment tonight.
Oh, okay.
So time distortion and story walking within the dungeon. Time operates differently within the dungeon. Nonlinear time. So Spade Parkland of Parkland Media explicitly states that time is not linear in FROMville, which makes the concept of story walking confusing. Film Pro Quo notes that time operates differently within the dungeon, explaining Julie's ability to story walk through different instances within the ruins, seeing herself interact with Boyd, hearing her mother and Victor, and seeing Marielle and Randall chained. Fate Decided further describes the dungeon as a portal of time where Julie literally sees 3 different instances or timelines. They believe that Julie is a time navigator for this portal. Let's see. And JulieBDeepDives defines story walking as visiting past or future chapters with Ethan claiming outcomes cannot be changed. However, future Julie tries to save Jim, showing an attempt to change the story. Julie later states that she thinks she met Martin in a dream or like she was part of something, but not fully herself, and heard Martin say, "This isn't the first time and it won't be the last." Wait, I don't remember any of this. I think this thing hallucinated when merging my notes.
What?
I'm like, what the heck am I reading here now?
I think AI can hallucinate. I have heard that it can hallucinate.
I had to compile my notes in one document. Oh my god, it's funny. All right.
What the hell? What the hell is it
Like,
talking about? Yeah, it made stuff. It made stuff up.
to be forewarned, some of this stuff might be made up by Notebook LM.
That's hilarious. Oh my god.
uh,
Okay.
all right. So I have to like put disclaimers before all of this. All right, so Spade Parkland might have clarified that Julie, by throwing the rope down to Boyd, was something that she was always meant to throw. An example of causality where the effect is seen before the cause. Cozy Mother on Reddit states that Julie always threw the rope to Boyd. Observatory for timelines. Fate suggests, or may have suggested, that the dungeon might be an observatory for different timelines. That kind of makes sense to me. It seems like a place outside of time.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Martin's time displaced knowledge. So this nonlinear time further supports theories that Martin's knowledge of the past and future events, like Abby or Julie, comes from his prolonged existence within this warped space. And I'm gonna pause there and also dive back to last time when Debbie Ebby Bo Bebby was her theory is that Martin is Abby's father, and that's why he knows about Abby, and that's why Abby has the dreams about the place because she was probably already there before. I think that's a pretty interesting theory.
Yeah, I like
And
that.
let's see. Oh, Ancient 3534 on Reddit suggested that Martin lives outside the time loop and knows everything because he's already seen what happens again and again. That actually makes sense too in some way, but he didn't know who Boyd was. And I have a serious issue with him like telling Julie to go away. It's not safe there. And kind of like he was like manipulating that whole situation and didn't want her to know that Boyd was down there, it seemed like. So I don't know. I don't think he's being very honest, even
That was sketchy as hell.
yeah. And so that makes me wonder, like, I know he had like that little like personality switch, which could suggest that like the entity started talking through him, but there was that weird exchange with Julie, and so that makes me just not trust him whatsoever. And we already went over how to spot a scammer in the last one, and I'm pretty convinced that Martin through and through is just at this point a scam artist, either because he wants to, get rid of the worms and finally end his own life, or maybe he's got some other motive. But it seems like there might be a little bit more to the motive. But then again, Boyd couldn't have been placed into that position if Julie was also there, probably. I think that would have thrown a wrench in the works somehow.
Yeah. I think it was important that they didn't know like what was going on, that Boyd didn't know Julie was there, and Julie didn't know she was throwing the rope to Boyd. Like it seems like it was orchestrated that way, and it was really weird how he acted. And Scarlett and I have joked that like maybe Martin was just like hanging out, having a smoke break in between his performances, in between his performance for Boyd and his very different performance for Julie, the way that he acted with her. It's like, you know, he just, oh,
Yeah, very
okay, Julie's
different.
coming. Like, Julie's coming, time to get back in the chains again. And, you know, like, it was just weird. Yeah. Oh,
Maybe he'll do a musical number in the next season.
I really hope he pops up again, because it's just getting more and more interesting now. With that wrinkle and the way he acted different. Yeah, I hope he pops up a third time.
I think I'm starting to wonder if he's going to pop up once per season. And of course, it'll probably be even earlier in time to before Julie got there and through the rope. Who knows? Or maybe he'll show up in the town. There are theories about that as well. I feel like, well, I think it seems pretty obvious. So we got a couple of players here playing like 4D chess. And I think Martin's been stuck outside of time long enough, whether or not he's an entity or the entity or something else. He seems to be playing that 4D chess game as well.
Mm-hmm. I think so too. He manipulated Boyd with this whole, what if Abby was right? What if it's all just a dream? He was mind fucking with him. And so I don't trust what he's doing. I think he could be part of the entity in some way. And maybe he used to be, I think he used to be a resident who died there, and it's now using his image to mess with Boyd. He just so happens to have a Marine tattoo to keep Boyd more likely to stay there and not leave him behind as a fellow military veteran. I mean, it just seems a little too perfect. And look how the entity, the big bad or whatever, used Abby's image in a pose that she was never in, putting her in a bunch of spider webs and grabbing Boyd. That was using a dead person's image. So Martin could just be another dead person it was using.
Absolutely. I am kind of starting to think that everyone that we see in the show, like all the characters, like the boy in white, man in yellow, even probably, well, not the cicada music box monster, but maybe even the kimono lady, kimono ghoul, I think she's called officially. That those were all probably humans at one point, or at least based on humans, because it's a very like character focused show, and we might even get backstory to their characters before they became human, or not human, before they became monsters or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that.
So let's see here. Cinephoria 130 suggests that the show could be told from a future perspective, explaining Martin's extensive knowledge as a story walker. Let's see. I feel like we already went over the potential historical inconsistencies last time, and I think that Robert had. Oh no, this is a different one. Okay, this isn't related to the tattoo. So there are some possible historical inconsistencies. Martin's personal details, Marine slogan Semper Fi, is from 1883, or at least that's when it originated. Millbrook, New York was established in 1895, coupled with his estimated, I don't know if this is actually, okay, so his clothing was dated to probably about, no, actually, I think this all fits. I'm skipping that one. All right, so 4, Martin's knowledge of Abby and Julie. Oh, actually, before I move on, let me pull up Robert's theory because it ties to the whole story walking thing. And this is going to take a moment for you to find. Oh, do we have anything from the chat? It's been a little bit since we checked in with that.
Let's see. Okay. Okay. Okay, I've got some comments here. Michael said there's questions about the ruins since the well isn't there. Yes. So what happened to the well between when it was a dungeon and when it was ruins? Or does it only look similar but isn't actually the same place? Yeah. Yeah,
That's what I
that
wondered too.
I wonder that myself. Not really a well, but an obolette, right?
It could have gotten like buried over time, maybe, but I don't know.
Right.
Could be a stretch.
And Michael said, sadly, one of the entities I originally advocated as being akin to the slow walkers ended up being an AI hallucination. Pity.
Whatever. We all
16
make
likes.
mistakes.
Yes.
Weird.
16.
Oh, he's commenting on the hallucination that we just ran into.
Yeah.
Putting words in your mouth, Julie.
Yes. That's hilarious. 16 likes. Please hit the like button. Martin was sus. Yes, Amy, indeed. I never trusted him for a minute. Michael said the dungeon realm may be kind of non-linear, not unlike the realm of the prophets in Star Trek Deep Space Nine. When Julie's story walks, she seems to jump around in time randomly to different points. Yes, all of a sudden she goes from the time when the three of them were chained up in there to down in the tunnels when Tabitha and Victor were making their way through, and she can hear her mother. That's not exactly quite the same time, and she's suddenly in a different spot. So it's like there are wormholes or something within that. Now I've never seen Star Trek Deep Space Nine, but yeah,
Great
that's
show.
yeah. Though it seems like primarily folks are in the same-ish times, either with Martin or the three. It feels like we don't know enough about it to know how it functions. Yes. Yeah, it was really tough to say. Karl in the chat says, wormhole, aliens, Michael, LOL. Non-corporeal. Michael said, seems like it's just Julie who can kind of jump around to different past points, whereas others generally go to roughly the same places and times.
Mhm.
Yes, I think so too.
I think
What were
she's
you-
special. I think she's special maybe because she's tied to Miranda. Not Miranda. Well, yeah, she is tied to Miranda. She's one of
Yeah.
the children of one of Miranda's reincarnations. I mean,
She's one of the line.
yep, she's part of the line.
I feel like she could jump around like it's a story. Like literally, story walking would be like seeing the whole timeline as a book.
Mm.
You know, and she might be able to skip to the end.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder because what was it? I think it was Beyond Premiere had some theories that got me thinking that maybe because he was suggesting that the Chromonacle book is actually a guide to all of it, and that it was like written like as like a guide to all of it, and somehow Ethan got his hands on it because Miranda, not Miranda, because well, Tabitha kind of just subconsciously, unconsciously gravitated towards it, knew that it was related, and gave it to Ethan, and that's why he seems to be so prescient. But I'm wondering if Julie is the person who wrote the Chromonacle, and she's the
Yeah,
story
I was
walker.
gonna say that because me and this Julie on a live we were talking about what if she wrote it under a pseudonym.
Yeah, exactly. I'm starting to think that she wrote that book as a guide for Ethan for what to do, and kind of like disguise it and put it out there for him. And that makes I don't know. I really think that's kind of what's going on there, but I could be wrong. It just seems very compelling, and it matches with that whole story walking thing.
Yeah, I mean the term they developed that term, so it must mean something.
Mm. Now that actually ties pretty much right into Robert Saunders' theory, which starts off with, what happens if Julie goes back to before the sacrifice and successfully saves the children? It seems logical that she could get stuck in the past. let me explain. In short, if Julie uses her story walking powers and goes back in time and successfully prohibits the sacrifice from ever occurring, then From most likely does not become a pocket universe with magical powers. If From does not become a supernatural pocket universe, then hundreds of years later, the Matthews never get trapped in From, and Julie never becomes a story walker. Consequently, in the present day, From, if Julie uses her time travel powers to change the past, this will necessarily stop the creation of the otherworldly town of From and divest her of her powers. Put another way, if From is just a normal town in present day, then by stopping the sacrifice, Julie will strip herself of the ability to storywalk and return back to the present time. She would necessarily become trapped in the past with no way to return, and it would be a unique twist to the story if she became her own ancestor, such as like a great 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 grandmother. Currently, there are 3 ways to time travel. First, by using the faraway tree, such as Boyd going to a dungeon which seems to be in the past based on the age of the ruins. Second, by use of a port key, for example, Boyd using the torch to return to the dungeon. Or 3, being a story walker. It seems Boyd's physical body physically transported to the past both times, but Julie's physical body seemed to remain in From, and she returned to the present only after being awoken in From. If she loses the ability to story walk while she is in the past, as explained above, how can she be awoken and return to the present? Just crazy tinfoil hat theory, and I would love to hear your thoughts.
As long as she gets that book written before.
Yeah.
Did Robert post that somewhere? Is that posted in the Discord, like public
Yeah.
channel?
Yep, it's posted in the FROMacademy channel.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna just pull that up and put it on screen for a minute too.
Sure. He posted it a while ago. I feel so bad. Sometimes I see, because like when he posts, I want to make sure I have like time to actually read it and give it a thoughtful response. And then with my ADHD, I'll forget for a while. And I do this with messages all the time too. And I feel so awful. But like,
Mhm. Oh, me
yeah, so
too.
I didn't get to it till today. But here we are, we're reading it and responding.
Yeah.
Yeah, but doesn't Julie have to go back further than the sacrifice, like to the first sacrifice? Like there's Vikings, 1506 maybe, if we're taking the year.
Right, because we don't actually
Got
know how many
skeletons.
how many cycles there have been of that.
Yeah.
And like you said, there's a suggestion with the Viking ruins and stuff, well the Viking stuff, that it actually goes back to before even colonial times, which is when it seems that the monsters are from, at least monsters that we see. But
You have to go all the way back to the first chapter.
yeah.
Yeah, here it is. I think this is the one, right? August 28th, 26th. Yeah.
Yep, that's the one.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
Oh, David's here. Yay, and we can read his theory soon too.
okay. Yeah, I mean, it seems like Julie would wipe herself out of existence if she were to go back and save the children. You know, it's like the chain reaction that led to her, even coming into existence. Who knows? Who knows what would have happened? I mean, I guess maybe she'd still exist regardless, but From wouldn't exist. Fromville wouldn't exist, so she wouldn't become a story walker. So it's like, yeah,
And
like
would her mind be split from her body?
yeah, I
Well,
don't
her
know.
astral self?
Oh man, yeah, that's a mind bending thought. How? Yeah, how would this work? This would create a really mind boggling paradox.
This show has a lot of really good thought experiments like going on with it, or at least a lot of really good thought experiments that you can extrapolate from it.
It really does. That's why people have, that's why people can develop so many fascinating long form theories like Robert does, and Michael and David, and so many of the long form theorists in the community. There's just no end to it. It's limitless, the possibilities. Even 3 seasons in, how many thought experiments we can undertake, and even more now that story walking just opened a whole Pandora's box of look how much more theory crafting we can do, how much more long form theory crafting folks like Robert here can do. It's awesome to see. I love this.
So with the story walking, I don't think it's something that could exist outside of Fromville, because I remember when Sarah came into town, she was kind of touched. She already had some kind of, abilities, I would say. That's why the monsters chose her.
Fatima had mentioned too in an episode to, I don't remember who she was talking to. Maybe it might have been Elgin. I think it was Elgin. I think she was telling Elgin that because Elgin mentioned having a dream, and she mentioned that, oh yeah, a lot of us when we come here, before we came here, we had dreams of this place. We felt like the place was pulling us in, like we were pulled here. So yeah, I think that, I don't know if Julie is somehow involved, or that place is somehow involved, but yeah, a lot of them seem to have like some sort of dreams or something about the place, or seem to be tied to it in other ways.
And Miranda had the dreams when she was in Camden. Or the vision. Like the visions of the bottle tree and doing the art and the things.
And I think, like Michael says, I think she's going to end up. I think she's going to end up going on a hallucinatory trip, a psychedelic trip at some point next season, like Miranda did.
Yeah, she's gonna have to find some mushrooms. Randall's gonna have to find those mushrooms.
Yep. Let's hope they don't accidentally poison her, though. Oh my God, I have a mushroom story. It's not mine. It's my friend Jake. His late grandmother. All right, so she was a little bit of a stubborn woman. And her husband used to make this mushroom gravy for Thanksgiving dinner for like the turkey. And one year she insisted, no, I'm gonna make it this time. And it was wild harvested mushrooms, and the grandfather knew exactly what ones to pick. She was convinced that she knew exactly what ones to pick. She didn't know what ones to pick. She poisoned the whole family on Thanksgiving, except for one person who didn't have the gravy. And thankfully, it wasn't a bad poison. She somehow picked the wrong mushroom, but also the right mushroom, which does grow in the wild here. Very hard to find, from what I'm told, but we do have psychedelic mushrooms that grow in the wild here. And her entire family tripped out that Thanksgiving, except for Jake's, I think it was his sister-in-law, who said that all of a sudden it was like the Twilight Zone. Everyone was acting weird. Someone was on the floor playing with the dogs and barking like a dog. And she had no idea what was going on or what happened. And I guess it took them a little while to figure it out, especially while they were all tripping.
Best Thanksgiving ever.
That's hilarious. Oh my God.
And now it's a family tradition.
Yeah,
I don't think so, but
mushrooms you eat, guys. Don't try that at home.
Yeah, don't try that at home, please, because you can actually, like, if you try, like, you get it wrong, you could die. So
I would recommend everybody watch Doom Coming of Yellow Jackets, and you won't want to do the shrooms. Yeah, I wonder if Julie would even have this. Would she even be able to save the kids?
I don't know. We've seen her in the caves, right? Seen her in the dungeon.
Because when she drops the rope, it's part of the things that have already happened. The things that, you know,
Yeah. So I
that
don't know
she
if
can
we've seen her.
affect, but I don't think she can affect, like, going back and stopping the sacrifice from happening.
No, we haven't seen her like above ground while story walking yet. Oh no, no, we have Doy at the end. Duh. Um, so yeah, actually maybe. Um,
Hmm. Oh yeah, we could talk about that too, because she does like get the new haircut and everything when she comes back.
yeah, because that seemed like that was part of story walking, like she was story walking there. So yeah, she doesn't
Hmm.
have to be in just like the monster areas when she story walks, from what I
Hmm.
can tell. There is also a theory out there that there was a time jump, and that was kind of like a flash forward at the end.
Hmm.
Some people pointed out some other discrepancies with like the set and distance and certain things, but I'm not sure. I think those are just inconsistencies. I don't think that they actually meant anything.
It was a time when Jim was philosophizing by the trailer, and then just another time when he was
Yeah, I guess so.
in the same
Because
outfit, same hair,
well, people were
everything.
pointing out like things were in different locations around the trailer or something. But I mean, really, I know that they try to keep everything as close to it as they can, but they're going to make mistakes here and there, and they might even move things just for um, cinematic reasons,
Yeah,
maybe
for
for
shot
lighting or
purposes.
for
Yeah.
angles.
Hmm.
Exactly. Um, they might, it might look good. The set might look good from a certain angle, and then they decide, and then they realize when they're shooting from a different angle, oh wait,
Hmm.
this looks like crap. We have to move things around a little bit. So I, I, I don't know how much credit I can give to that, but it'll be interesting. I kind of hope it isn't a
Hmm.
flash forward because it would make it lose its impact a little bit. But it would also give us a shock value when we get the season premiere.
Yeah, I always thought it was interesting because when that happened, like half the things I read said that she looked younger than the age that she was, and then half the other things I read looked like it said she looked older with the hair. So I wasn't sure because the first thing I read it was like, oh, she looked like she was 13, and then the next thing I read was she looked like she was 25. And I'm like,
Oh,
which one is it?
it makes me think of what was it? Lady Shasha and Tony Man yesterday were talking about Ghost Adventures and how their EVPs were kind of like crap. And
Hmm.
they would put like subtitles out. And so like if you just listen to their EVP tapes, um, you just sound like or even almost like their voices like making noises, like the people that like the cast.
Hmm.
And but once they put the subtitle to it, your mind would kind of hear that, even though it
Hmm.
wasn't really
Yeah.
in it.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think people were
Yeah.
just projecting.
Hmm.
I don't know.
I think they're doing more by the clothes. Like she was younger
Okay.
because of the clothes she was wearing, or older because of the clothes she was wearing. I've heard both. You know, timey wimey. It's a hard trip. But I can't remember exactly what she was wearing. But they said, oh, that's like this time period, like the '90s or something. She got back in time. She got stuck. She moved forward in
Hmm.
time. If you
Let's
if
see.
you if you can understand what I mean, like she went back in time, like maybe to the '90s, got spit out Canada or anything, but then later on when she comes back to try to warn Jim, she's 25
Yeah, could be.
because she's traveled that many years.
How many? I'm sorry, I'm just looking at the chat right now. See, like,
Yeah.
oh, wow, there's a lot of stuff here in the chat. Okay, we already got Deep Space
Can you
Nine.
highlight anything, or you can get Julie to highlight stuff because I can't highlight anything.
Let me see if I can. I have it in desktop mode, so I might actually be able to.
Yeah. It says I can
Yes.
in the iPad, but then it won't let me when I hit on it, so it's kind of disappointing.
Let's see. Um, Amy says they did that with Buffy back in one season. Was they had a musical episode? Yeah, the Buffy musical episode was great. Um,
I'm waiting for the
well,
From musical episode.
That I don't actually want, but I wouldn't. Well, depends. If they had like say like they did it like in character and they're having like a jam
Mm.
session at Colony House that got interrupted by like monsters attacking. But
Yeah, they kind of did
and
that
maybe
because they did have that one lady who played piano, and then
yeah,
Jay plays violin. You could have
they,
like
they
a
they throw in some musical stuff here and there.
yeah.
Yeah, it won't let me highlight. I can read the comments from
What?
StreamYard, but I
What's up? What's up? Sorry, Doc. I got distracted by a little issue that came up here. But
no,
what
no
comment would you
worries.
highlight?
Uh, oh, well, we're looking through the chat because people have been chatting away. Um, and so I'm just looking through it. We don't have to highlight them. I can read them. Like
Amy said, yeah. So like I can highlight here. How about I highlight and could you read the ones I highlight here?
yeah. All right. So
Okay.
why was Martin chained up? That would be the question to ask. That is a
Hmm.
good question. So was he part of a previous
Okay.
cycle of cicada monsters? They're like choosing people, but wasn't that also
Okay.
supposedly the first time that she was free?
Could maybe he wasn't really chained up?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if he
Maybe he loosened himself from one shackle to have a cigarette until Julie came to put the shackle back on. I really don't
right.
trust him.
I'm not sure. Um, well, he mentioned I think that he went through a tree, right? He says that's how they get you, or at least he
Yeah.
implied that that might have been how he got there as well.
Hmm.
So it's possible he got there the same way that Boyd got there. I don't think that the others got there the way that Julie, Randall, and Marielle got there, just
Hmm.
because Sarah tells, was it Boyd, that yeah, she's laughing at us or at you.
Hmm.
She finally got to, she loves being able to touch, I think it was, and stuff,
Hmm.
um, and interact with the outside world or whatever. So yeah, so I don't think that he got there exactly the same way that the others did. So I think that he is probably physically there. That is probably his physical body, because I think that he got there the same way that Boyd did, through a faraway tree.
I wonder who his buddies are. The skeletons. I wonder who they were.
Probably other people that went through the trees. I don't know. I'm just guessing. I'm not dying on this hill.
Or
I'm
some
just
alternate Randall, Marielle, and who was the third one? Was Julie the third?
yeah. And actually, if the place exists outside of time, they could even be from the future, right?
Hmm.
Potentially.
Yeah, that's like the skeleton on the striped shirt as well.
Mm.
Could be from the past. Could be the one I always thought could have been Jade or Boyd's son. Can't remember his name.
Oh, gosh, Ellis.
Ellis.
I almost called him
I kept on
Elgin.
saying
I knew it
Elgin.
was
I
an
was like, it's
L.
close. It's been a while. Yeah, it's early. But I thought of that because it had like it apparently had like jeans and stripes on, like a striped shirt, kind of cash, but definitely a skeleton.
Mm.
But
And
that
let's
was the
see.
one that was in that room, in the behind the door of the what
Oh,
was it like
root cellar.
the root cellar? Yeah, I was gonna say the hurricane cellar, but yeah.
And Michael here says, though it seems like primarily the folks are in the same-ish times, either with Martin or with the three, feels like we don't know enough about how it functions. I think we might have already read that. Seems like it's just Julie who can kind of jump around to a different past. That was from Michael. Then, all right, let's see. Oh, okay. So yeah, Julie found our place. It seems like Martin was just possessed by the nymphs. Like the three, he was like the three. He was just the last survivor and hadn't yet succumbed to being fed upon, but was close when Boyd encountered him. I mean, that's possible, but I don't know how that would happen if it was if that time had been the first time that she was free. So yeah, I think Martin would have to be from the future then. So maybe Martin will show up on in Fromville in an upcoming season. David S. just starting. Yeah, we got a little bit of a late start. Oh. So Ethan says storywalkers can go back to see past chapters that are already written.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Ethan says storywalkers can go back to see past chapters that are already written. Doesn't say anything about prophecy or seeing future events. Ah, huh. I hadn't thought about that. But I think that you are right there. But yeah, I don't know, because I really feel like either it's an inconsistency. I just keep on coming back to Sarah saying that, it's like the first time the entity has been free like that.
Mm-hmm. And if Julie is older in the last scene, then it like she has come back from the future.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I felt like she was
Well,
older, but then when somebody said she was 13, I was like, well, maybe she's younger.
I think she'd have to be slightly older
Yeah.
in that scene. 'Cause I would think
Yeah.
that she's trying to find, like, she probably tries to
Mm-hmm.
figure out what happened to her father or to save him by
Mm-hmm.
story walking, and then encounters him. So I think,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think she'd be a little bit older.
Mm-hmm. But then she had the story walk forward.
If we trust what Ethan says, Julie can't go back and fix anything, since everything in the future is already written in the past and is thus set in stone. Yeah, I've been wondering if we can trust what Ethan says there. I think he's probably right. But she's still going to try either way, as we can see by her trying to save her father.
Mm-hmm. But she failed.
Yeah,
So
she did fail. So far, Ethan's being proven correct. And any story walking is already part of the future's past. Yes. Example, Julie always threw the rope and never saved Jim. Correct, I agree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I'll save my Ethan is the man in yellow for another time.
Okay.
Because the other one is like everything's written in the past and like he knows the rules, and I'm like, that's because he grows up to be the man in yellow.
Oh, Ethan? Yeah, I really think so. I think that or at least he's going to have some sort of parallels, like almost like he's a newer version or something, because he I was watching something today, and it was just like, and it was about Ethan, and he's just wearing yellow all the freaking time. And it so I'm like, I don't know. And if he isn't wearing yellow, sometimes something yellow in the scene, kind of
Yeah.
like almost like a hint. And I noticed though with Martin, there's never anything yellow around him. So I don't think that Martin is the man in yellow himself, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, it's so funny. Before me and Julie did the rewatch of From, everybody said that Ethan wore yellow, and I'm like, he doesn't wear that much yellow. And then when we were doing it, I was like blowing Julie's mind of all the yellow he was wearing, and I'm like, look, you know.
Yeah. And
I
I
guess
hadn't really seen it until there was like that compilation of scenes, and it wasn't even talking about him potentially being the man in yellow, but it was just all these scenes with Ethan in it, and it just seemed like, wait, there's so much yellow here.
Yeah, then he starts out with a yellow shirt, and then when they're digging out the basement, it gets dirty because he's emptying the dirt buckets.
Mm. Yes.
So hopefully we'll go back to watching From and finding more Ethan clues.
Oh yeah, and then when the next season comes out, there's gonna be stuff in it that we're gonna be like, how didn't we see that in the other seasons?
Yeah.
So the clues are out there, just like the truth is out there, as they say in X-Files.
Yeah. It just
Clues
seemed
are
to
out
be
there.
so much that it, you know,
Oh yeah, it's an ocean of clues, and some of them
yeah.
are red herring. A lot of them are red herrings.
I like to dream though. I
Let's see.
mean, I could even figure it all out. He just lost his humanity, and that's why he doesn't care that his dad dies. You know, it's kind of like that whole like Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker thing. You know,
Hmm.
kind of a thing. Except, yeah, that's probably a better metaphor.
David doesn't remember what he posted. That's okay. It was probably a while
Oh
ago. I
no.
think it was a while ago. Um, yeah, I think it was in like July. It's strange, like 12 monkeys, they can time travel, but their body is still in the present, convulsing while their consciousness travels. Yet they are still able to physically interact with surroundings. Huh. It's been a long time since I've seen 12 Monkeys.
Yeah, did you watch the movie or the TV series or both?
The movie. I think
Because
probably saw it in
there's
theaters.
interesting TV series. Then, God,
I heard that
I
was
feel
good. I haven't
I
checked it
feel like
out
it went
though.
like 3 seasons.
Oh, that's pretty good then.
Yeah, I mean there was a lot. It had the one girl from Schitt's Creek in it, Emily Hampshire. I can't remember
And
who else was in it. It's been a
Amy
while.
says, what if, oh, sorry.
Sorry, it's okay.
Amy says, what if they can go back into the real world, back in time, back into time, and they get another chance to come back? Who knows?
Hmm. I thought that's where Julie was coming from. The last scene was from the real world into Fromville again, like she had found a way.
Huh, maybe.
That's she
It is
got. That's
possible
why
that
she
we'll
got
see
the
someone
different
leave and come
clothing
back
and
again.
everything, even though she could have probably gotten it from Colony House. But the hair and everything. I mean, she could have had Marielle do a quick cut, but you know,
That would actually explain things because we saw how awful of a job she did with that first haircut. And that would explain why Julie needed the wig. It was to hide the butcher haircut that she got from Marielle. No, I'm totally joking. I actually thought the haircut on Chrissy was cute, but I mean I'm a gay
yeah,
dude, so my taste is completely different than
yeah.
other people's.
And then she didn't. The actress who played her didn't like being picked on, so I stopped making jokes about it.
No, yeah, a lot of people made jokes, so I had to make the joke, but but I
Yeah.
actually thought her hair was cute. But
Hmm.
all right, let's see. Michael says, in my opinion, she cannot change the past. If we believe Ethan as Captain Exposition, I like that. Ethan as Captain Exposition from the writers, explaining the rules to the audience.
Hmm.
Yeah, so Ethan, yeah, I agree. Ethan was basically Captain Exposition from the writers,
Hmm.
explaining the rules to the audience.
It comes up.
David
He
says,
comes up with his walking stick and tells it how it is.
yep.
So I feel he's
David,
like an old soul.
he kind of is actually. David says, yeah, I think the rope shows what happened has happened and can't be changed. Julius is doing what was always done. The story walking is essentially like remembering that. Hmm. I like the possibilities, though, he says. Maybe it's a doppelganger version. Doppelganger virgin. Oh my God. Doppelganger version
That sounds
instead
like a
of a
really good
future
movie.
version of Julie.
I don't want to watch Doppelganger
Oh
Virgin.
my God. I don't know if that's something I'd want to watch. Doppelganger version. Okay.
Or it's just the name of my new band.
Hey, that could be a good band name. Boyd singing would be so enjoyable, he says. Actually, yeah, the actor might even be a good singer. I don't know if I've ever heard him sing.
Yeah. Well, if they had a music box monster come back and the music box, like there was other entities that used music and then like sung through them, you know,
Hmm.
kind
Was
of
Harold
like what?
was Harold in Romeo and Juliet?
Yeah, he's in
Did
Fame too, the
did he do
TV series.
Dragon? Did he do Dragon Romeo and Juliet like David said? That's funny if so. I know he was in Fame. I still need
Yeah,
to like actually like sit down and watch that because that looks a lot like a lot of fun. I've only caught a little bit.
yeah, yeah. I caught a few things on YouTube that have him as a dancer.
Amy thinks Martin looks like the Marlboro Man. Yeah, the after photos probably. Um, when he got older before he passed, right? Um, he- or did he pass away young because of cancer? I thought he did.
Oh, is that irony?
Oh, maybe. Michael says, I still think it's just like that cycle. I still think it's just that cycles, the three per the rhyme. And Martin
Mm.
was the only, I'm sorry, it's really small on this screen, so I'm having a hard time reading it a little bit. I have to move my face really close. I still think, I still think it's just that cycles three per the rhyme. And Martin was the only one that hadn't died yet, but was close. Okay. David says a dream within a dream within a dream. And,
We're just dreamers. The dream, the dream.
oh, Carla's here. Hi, Carla. And then David says, Martin's character reminds me of Yoda or the Oracle in the Matrix, the sage that gives the hero important information for the next steps, then disappears for a long time and only pops up occasionally. Yep, and that was what you had written about too on Discord. And I'm going to read a little bit of that in just a moment. And, oh my God. And then Michael's making a hair joke.
Mm.
All right, so let me see. I got David's theory. Oh, I got to bring that back.
So do you need me to pull up the spreadsheet again?
Oh, that can, yeah, you can. Well, actually, we're going to Discord now to the From Academy
Okay.
um channel. Sorry, the From Academy channel, and we're going to scroll up to August 9th, and we
Okay.
have post from David. What was it? Let me scroll. Yep, that was it. And then we're going to scroll down there. Okay, I didn't have a chance to look at the links, so I'm just going to read what he has written here. Says so it's right under the links. Yep. So those are the links. And actually we could okay. Oh, he posted images as well, not just links. Okay, so we can pull up the images and we can look at those. So yeah, do you want to click on the color wheel there? Thank you so much, Julie. I know you're trying to pack.
Okay. I'm trying to make it the right size. Okay.
All right.
There we go.
So we got some archetypes here. And David was mentioning that that he believes Martin fits into the sage archetype, even if it's unintentional on Martin's part, perhaps. And so let's start clockwise. So first we have innocent. We got a picture of Dorothy there. It says safety. So that's one of the primary, I guess. Would you consider that attribute? Then for sage, there's understanding. For the explorer, there's freedom. Those three seek paradise. Then next we have the outlaw, who seeks liberation, magician, who seeks power, and the hero seeks mastery, and they all seek to leave a mark. And then, so it's okay. So the innocent seeks safety, the sage seeks understanding, and the explorer seeks freedom. That's okay. Now I'm understanding how to read the wheel. So the lover. So next we have the lover, and they seek intimacy. The jester seeks enjoyment. The everyman seeks belonging, and they all seek to build a connection. Next, we have the caregiver who seeks service, the ruler who seeks control, the creator who seeks innovation, and three of them, they seek to provide structure. And then,
I wish I knew all the people that were in these images.
let's see. So we got Dorothy, Mr. Miyagi,
Yeah.
Indiana Jones. I don't know who the
Tom
outlaw
Cruise?
is.
Tom Cruise?
Yeah, I think that might be Tom Cruise. I don't know from what movie though. Maybe Top
Like
Gun?
Top Gun?
No, maybe.
What?
Is that
Oh yeah,
Patrick
I guess it's
Stewart
because
as
he's a Maverick, maybe.
okay, I get it.
Yeah, I get it now, yeah.
Is that Patrick Stewart as the magician?
I can't see it very well.
Yeah, that one's a little blurry. For hero, we got the girl Katniss, right?
Okay. All right. Yeah, that makes sense.
For the lover, I'm not familiar with that actress. I don't know.
Anybody in the chat now? Put it in the chat.
Is that Will Smith as the jester?
That's Eddie Murphy from
Oh,
Beverly
yeah,
Hills
there we
Cop.
go. The teeth. It's a
Mhm.
little blurry, so I'm trying. It's difficult sometimes. And at first, I thought this was like I thought belonging, the Everyman. I thought that was like an '80s musician, but I just realized that's Frodo.
Oh, I
Thought
thought it
it
was the guy who played the Sandman.
was right. It looked like there was some like eyeliner or mascara going on there, which is why I was thinking.
or the one guy from the Mighty Bush. The one that played the goth guy in the IT crowd. No one's
Okay,
familiar.
caregiver. I don't know who that is.
Let's see here.
Ruler. Oh, the ruler. I know that actress. She sings in like 2 songs with Patrick Wolf. That's who she looks like. She looks like a
Mm-hmm.
Rudd. I think she was in Lord of the Rings.
Oh, you think that might be Robin Williams and Caregiver, like Patch Adams?
Oh yeah, that is Robin Williams.
So, and who did you say the like Harlequin was on the Control?
That looks like the lady that she wanted Frodo's ring. Crud, I don't know her name. I think you
Okay,
know her name.
Blanchett.
Maybe
There's not a
the
lot of
British
women in Lord
actress,
of the
right?
Rings.
British actress, right? That sounds right.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's 2 women in Lord of the Rings. Or
Only
is there
two.
more?
there
Or is there more?
were at least 3 female main
There's at least
characters. They introduced the human one later on.
3 female characters. And then
Well,
Iron
you
Man,
know,
I'm assuming.
yep, and then Iron Man there for innovation, creator.
I wonder what
The
this still is from, though. This.
That's from him using Jarvis, I think, and
No, I mean
building
the
things.
ruler one. Like, is that from Elizabeth? Maybe Elizabeth.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I'm not familiar with all her works,
I
but
think
yeah, it
Kate
looks like
Blanchett played Elizabeth.
that seems
I
right.
mean, it would make sense as a ruler, like Elizabeth. Elizabeth one.
And then for the structure of the archetypes, um, which is the next one, it says that Moore argues that each male archetype consists of 3 parts: the full and highest expression of the archetype and 2 bipolar dysfunctional shadows of the archetype. So you're trying to say that all men are bipolar? No, I'm kidding. To better understand this, Moore portrays each archetype as a triangle. So that'd be tripolar. Here's an example of the king archetype, thusly illustrated. Um, Top we have the king in his fullness, So the negative aspect is and then the lower aspects are the tyrant and the weakling. So we have the tyrant and the weakling, and then the king in his fullness. The bottom corners of the triangle represent the bipolar shadow split of the archetypal self, to be, in this case, for the king, the tyrant, and the weakling. And the goal of each man, according to Moore, is to reconcile and integrate these two bipolar shadows in order to attain the fullest expression of the archetype as represented at the top of the triangle. And so for, oh, we actually don't. Do we have the sage in this one?
Yeah, it's in the green section.
No, no. Oh, sorry. I'm looking through the Discord at the images that he had put
Oh,
up. Because we're specifically looking to relate this to the sage archetype, but I don't have that screenshot, a screenshot of that here. That's all right. So now I'm going to skip down to what he says. And so he says, I'm not 100% certain, but I'd say Martin has some sage archetype qualities. I look at Tabitha as the hero. Oh, okay. So yeah, I can read from those two. I look at Tabitha as the hero, Jade the magician, Donna the caregiver, Boyd the ruler or king, Ethan the innocent, Randall the rebel or outlaw, Ellis the lover, Sarah the warrior. There are other archetypes as well that aren't Jungian archetypes of the collective unconscious, like the wild card, which I think is Acosta. I see Boyd as the ruler, not the hero, because he is a small town sheriff. He has power and control and fears chaos. The ruler / king also has the tyrant as a shadow self, which is what he became when he tortured Elgin. And that's what the priest warned him he would become if he continued his path. Ah, that's very astute. That makes sense. And okay, so that helps us identify their roles as archetypes by looking at these. So the third image, we have, so the hero. So the third one has the divine child. I'm sorry, the king, the warrior, the magician, and the lover. Okay, so yeah. So the king has the tyrant on one side and the weakling on the other. The warrior has the sadist on one side and the masochist on the other. Below that, oh, actually, okay. So the king is also connected to the divine child. Is that the innocent? Is that the same thing? With the high chair tyrant on one side and the weakling prince on the other. I don't think that's the same as the innocent though. Then the warrior is connected to
like
the
the ruler.
hero, which, mm,
Well, from the chart
the
I saw,
warriors,
it'd probably be the ruler.
yeah. Then the hero has the warrior in his fullness. Sadist on one side, masochist on the other side, but below that is grandstander, bully, and the coward on the other side.
Yeah,
Mm,
that makes sense because warring is power struggle, so that makes complete sense.
mm. And then he says, generally, the quartet is a representation of Jung's four major archetypes: self, persona, shadow, anima, and animus. Anima, animus is one, sorry. But it can also be id, ego, superego, and anima, animus at the same time are interchangeable, since one is Jung and the other is Freud. It'd be cool to take the concept from that book, the four archetypes of male masculinity, the king, warrior, and magician and the lover, and create a story of four male characters representing each archetype. So while they are four individual characters together, allegorically, all represent the inner archetypes of the masculine man. I'm guessing that's why Ellis, as the lover, is a central character in From, even if his love story with Fatima is easily forgetful. Very true, actually, kind of.
Yeah, I was wondering if that ran through the Three Musketeers because there's technically four Musketeers and they follow those archetypes.
Mm,
But I would have to look that up. I was trying to think of things in literature that have
Yeah.
for men, for male characters, and that's one.
And he says we can easily point to the starting point on any wheel for each archetype. Every archetype is on its own psycho-spiritual journey to make up the whole. Oh, that's what that diagram was. Psycho-spiritual journey. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Hero's journey can start from any point, but it usually starts at either spring or fall equinox points, the threshold points.
Mm-hmm.
Where from Boyd started in spring equinox. His arc is the royal arc for the ruler, while the hero Tabitha begins her journey at the fall equinox, marked by the fallen tree and threshold from the normal world into the special world, with the crows acting like guardians of the threshold. Very interesting. Um, David, I don't know if you have checked out Ellen the Marvelous's channel before, but I think that you would really like that channel. She gets into a lot of Jungian psychology.
Yeah, I
All
read
right,
a lot
let's
of it. I read
see.
a lot of it in college.
We we touched upon Jungian psychology and psychology, but mostly
Mm-hmm.
we talked about it in literature and
Mm-hmm.
psychology.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like anthropology classes. I read The Power of Myth
I have
by
not.
Joseph Campbell.
I have. I think I have that book here somewhere. I have one of his books,
Mm-hmm.
and I intended to read it. I've seen um, a documentary or two about
Yeah.
Joseph Campbell and his ideas about the hero's
Yeah, I
journey
think
and
you can
stuff.
even
It's been a while
find
though.
Power of Myth on YouTube if you type it in. I think you can watch it for free.
Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen it. I don't think
Yeah.
but I definitely have not read it.
Mm-hmm. And then they have like
But
the
it's also been years.
hero with 1,000 faces. I think it's called. I read a bunch of them,
Okay,
but a
I
long
don't
time
know if
ago.
I've watched that one.
Oh, I think they're all books, except for The Power of Myth was a television series.
Oh, okay. Oh, so I didn't see the whole series. I probably only saw an episode or two.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I mean, he did write one called The Hero's Journey too.
David also assumes that Martin was a leftover from previous cycle, like Victor. We're at 21 likes. Yeah. And yep, Harold was in Romeo and Juliet. We have a link there in the chat to the IMDb page. David says that there are 12 archetypes. Actually, apparently that link didn't work right. Um, David says each archetype also has a shadow, like Boyd being a ruler and a tyrant.
Mhm.
And David says a great way to understand how and why characters interact that way, the way that they do, and who their natural allies and enemies are. Okay, it's a great way to understand how and why characters interact the way they do and who their natural allies and enemies are. Okay, that makes sense. And Michael finally found Michael finally posted the correct link. Oh, I got private chat. What happened? Okay, Scarlet will be right back.
I gotta get my charger.
Okay. Oh shoot. Thank you for saying that. I just looked at my phone. It's at 10%
Oh,
on my
yikes.
device.
That's not good.
That is not good.
Um,
Thankfully, I charged up a portable charger. I'm about to plug that in.
cool. Okay.
Oh my
Sorry.
gosh. Thank you for saying something, Scarlett. I know that you weren't intentionally trying to remind me, but
Sorry, I've been a little slow to keep up with highlighting the right things and showing the right things on screen at the right time, but I'm multitasking.
it's okay. It's actually faster to read through them without highlighting them. I know it's kind of bad,
Yeah.
but let's see. Oh, Ethan would be the innocent. This is David. Donna the caregiver. I could definitely see Donna as the caregiver. And yeah, I guess Ethan might be the innocent. Um, Jada's the magician. Okay, yeah, these are making sense and lining up. Tabitha as the hero, Ellis as the lover with Fatima. Um, Amy says yes, she agrees, or I think she's fun with that. She loves Patch Adams. David says, notice it's also there we go. Notice it's also divided like the seasons. Oh, the chart is okay. Tribal. um, divided like the 12 signs too. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't think about that. It's like the 12 zodiac signs as well. And so the tripolar um or the triumvirate for each is one positive and two negative. Um, and then Sleepless. Oh, I'm not familiar with this person. Perfect time to
I've
watch.
seen
Just
I've seen Sleepless before. Hey, Sleepless. Thanks for coming.
oh, I think I have seen them before. Well, hi. Oh, I can't smoke anymore. I cheated today. Oh yeah, it's a little side tangent. Yeah, I seem to have developed a health issue that might be related to my my chain smoking um tobacco cannabis spliffs in the after hours. Um so I had to quit smoking. I cheated today because of stress in life, but it's been very this news has been very stressful to me, but I still have to actually get to a doctor and get formally diagnosed and have them figure out what the heck is happening with me.
Yeah, we're so sorry to hear about that, and I do hope you get to a doctor as soon as possible and find out what to do about it to manage this.
Thank you. Yeah, tomorrow. I'm not gonna be. I don't think I'll be able to schedule an appointment tomorrow, but I can at least start looking at the doctors tomorrow. Um, the insurance. We just started the new cycle of the insurance, so the new stuff all kicked in. So yeah, now's a good time for
Mhm.
me to look into that. But oh man, it stinks because I love to smoke. Uh,
It
All right,
sucks. I'm
let's see here.
sorry.
Hey, but to be honest, like so the health issues that I'm having, yeah, they could potentially be serious, but if because I was smoking a lot, and then mixing it with the tobacco and it was unfiltered, uh, I feel like I was on a path towards lung cancer or throat cancer. And so this health issue that I have now that's forcing me to stop smoking, it's not as bad as that. So I feel like this was like my body saying, whoa, 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 let's put on the brakes now before things get any more dire.
Yeah, then it was just the wake up call you need,
Yeah.
so that something more dire doesn't happen, God forbid.
And then there's an
So
interesting side effect because I'm trying to like I looked up like things I can do to like help with my my health situation. And of course for like a lot of them it says exercise and also to keep my mind off of smoking, I've been doing more exercising and while changing today, I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting boobs, but not the bad kind.
oh my God. Wow. Oh, I hope that then you get to a doctor soon and that you can manage the stress of all of this and and the stress of having to kick a habit like that. I know how hard that can be. So we're all here to support you.
Thank you. And yeah, I will. You've been kicking at me. You've been kicking my butt about this to get to a doctor and in the private chats too. So I'm gonna get on it.
Good.
Uh,
I can be a nag. So
so Sleepless, you have one for me, but don't chain smoke them like I was doing because or at least don't mix it with tobacco and chain smoke it. That was just really bad habit that I acquired from a friend I had. All right, I guess we can return to topic. So Michael says, didn't Martin imply he was in Vietnam or something? Did he? I think he might have. I could be misremembering that too, maybe just because we said it. If so, it would make sense how. Wait, no, I don't think he did. Wait, did he? Well, anyway, he says, if so, it makes sense he'd have been in Victor's cycle in mid to late 70s and could be from the 3 of that cycle.
Yeah, he didn't
Okay.
mention anything like that. It's just Semper Fi was the only thing that was really mentioned.
Okay, I thought so. So yeah, yeah, we were misremembering that. I think that there have been theories about that being the time that he arrived there, and that's probably. And I think I read theories that he was in Vietnam, and that's probably where I'm getting that from. And I know Michael is very active on Reddit, so he's probably come across the same theories.
I read his tattoo was from the 1800s.
Yeah, I've seen that as well. Michael says, we'll be interested to see if we see him in Victor's cycle via flashbacks. That would. And actually, that's probably pretty likely. David says, the lovers are also important in the tarot cards. That's very true. And don't we kind of see like Ellis's own version of the lover's tarot card that he has painted above the bed?
The Garden of Eden painting, yeah.
Yeah, in the Garden of Eden painting.
Yeah, because it has the 2 naked people and then the devil, but the monster could be the devil, technically. Garden of Eden and all.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
everything.
everything.
Knowledge comes with a price. Like the apple, knowledge comes with a price.
Oh yeah, all those apples. Have you seen all the apples that were in like season 2 all over the place? It's a little nostalgic walk down the live lanes.
Let's see. Sarah reminds me of the warrior because she's also become a sadist when harming Elgin. Yeah, you actually, I think you're really nailing that. Then Michael says, unless he was in Korea maybe 2 cycles ago, then no, that's possible. Then David says, also the archetypes become their shadow self when the man in yellow started to emerge.
It could be. I
Yeah,
mean,
because everything was. Yeah, because I noticed too. Yeah, the worst of people started to emerge. Sorry, Scarlett, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say to the other person's comment about the tarot cards, you could basically put a tarot card to all those archetypes that were on the wheel. You could assign a tarot card, like 12 of them. Even though there's 20 in the major arcana, or 21.
And David said his school totally skipped young. He had to discover it for himself. Huh.
Oh, really? Huh. I got a whole bunch of it. I spoon fed a lot of Jung, a lot of Freud, and a lot of like Joseph Campbell, just in various classes.
Yeah, and I was a literature major, so they liked Jung. Exactly before that reason, because of the archetypes. Archetypes are really useful for when you're creating stories. There are plenty of lectures with Joseph Campbell on YouTube. They're all great. Yep, I think I've seen some of them. I've seen at least 1 or 2 videos of on Joseph Campbell. It might have even been more, because sometimes they'll like a lot of them be like 5 or 10 minutes only. So then I'll click on to the next one, then the next one. Hey, Jay's here. Hey, Miss Jay's. Or Miss J. And Karl, if you could drop a link to her channel, it'd be much appreciated. And let's see. Amy asked, what about Tian Chen? Tian Chen seemed like another caregiver. I don't know. I guess that's more of a question for David. Maybe David's felt that out a bit. David says 1 head, 2 feet. Oh, Amy says edibles might help, right? I actually can't have edibles either. It's the THC. Um, and then, oh, thank you for the hugs.
Mhm.
And then David says, recognize the triggers for smoking and combat them. That was advice given to me, hasn't worked yet. And hey, MM's here. Hey, good evening.
See, this
Says, hey
crowd kind
everyone,
of
I hope
blows
you
in the early hours,
right?
or the late
And
hours to them, I guess.
I say, hey everyone, I hope you are all doing well. David Agiel mentions the Semper Fi tattoo, and I believe it was Robert who pointed out that it's almost
Mhm.
impossible to tell when that tattoo is from because they're not using an actual tattoo that exists in the real world. They're using just something that looks similar to like a couple of them, because those
Mm.
symbols are actually trademarked and copyrighted, so they can't use it
Trademarked,
in the show
yeah,
itself. Like, at least
yeah.
not exact copies. Oh, hold on. My pup needs to go out real quick. I'll be right back.
So I'll be talking to myself again. Are we the only ones
Scarlett, do you have
here?
anything to
Am I
promote?
the only one here? Oh, Lacan and Freud, yeah. I haven't read a lot. I mean, I have to honestly say that my knowledge is probably like, college age, which was a while ago. I mean, I should equate myself with Joseph Campbell. I mean, I also know there was the power. Is the power of myth the one I've said before? The power of myth and the hero with a thousand faces. Let's see what other ones. I mean, I read a lot of world mythology when I was younger, so I mean, I was just really into like just reading every kind of like mythology I could get my hands on. And
Do you have anything to promote?
oh, do I? Not like we just got done on Sci-Fi Vision finishing up TV show Wednesday and finishing up what was the other one we did? Oh, Alien Earth. How could I forget Alien Earth? And I think the next things we're going to be doing are like the Telemaska at the end of October and Lazarus, perhaps. Anyone's interested? But now I don't really have a whole lot going on. I thought maybe we'd do a trivia night again. Maybe we, like Julie would like to do a trivia night, maybe a games night, in the
If we ran, I considered
interim
doing
before. What?
I considered doing a trivia night if we ran short on content for tonight, but I think we've got
Oh.
plenty. I mean, it's already almost 4
Mhm.
a.m. and we're still going.
So if there's like, between now and when Julie wants to do Welcome to Derry and Telemask and everything picks up,
I
there's
think
still a gap time in
Alaska,
between the beginning of October and then it's like October 26th for just like all of them, which is crazy. They all
so
like start
now
at the same time.
is Talabaska based on a specific book, or are they like just
I,
breaking from
I, I think
books
they're
and making
probably
up
winging
stuff?
it. They're probably gonna make an Anne Rice X Files, and I'm in it to win it. That's fine.
Then I'm for that. I'm for that. That I think I'd have an easier time with than so
Yeah.
I heard interview is really good. I need to check it out.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
and but I couldn't get into the Mayfair Witches
Mirror
one
Witches.
because
Yeah,
I
Mayfair
loved
Witches
the
is a special
books.
thing. It's very
I
special.
I loved the books. At least I
Mhm.
read the first three, and that first book especially was just one of my favorite books of all time.
The Witching
I
Hour.
Yeah, The Witching Hour. I took my time reading it. Um, I don't know if I took my time or if it just took me a long time. It's a thick book. It took me like a week or longer. I don't even know. But I was having like dreams about stuff from the book. I dreamt about was it Stella's balls that she had? Not she Stella doesn't have balls. She throws balls. The dancing kind.
Yeah, the
I had
family is
like a
very
dream of,
unusual, but not that unusual.
yeah, I had like a dream about one of her parties, and I think I even dreamt about her falling from the balcony, um,
Oh, geez.
and uh, and stuff. Yeah, I had some interesting dreams while reading those books.
I just remember there was a lot of incest in them.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff in those. I mean, it's Anne Rice. She's a little odd. But then again, so is Stephen King. Stephen King's got some really messed up and stuff in some of his books too, like in It.
Yeah, but now there's a theory floating around that showrunners for Mayfair, which is only Red Blood Canticle, where Roland is a little bit more passive and a kind of a different character because Anne Rice started writing her characters a little bit different.
Huh.
Because you know when you
Yeah, I'm
pick
not
up
familiar with that one.
Witching Hour, it's massive. It's like 1,000 pages or something. But Blood Canticles is just a little, short read comparatively.
Yeah, I'm not even familiar with that book.
Yeah. So that would kind of make sense that Roland was the way she was in the show, but I really haven't read a whole lot of it, so I just watched it for the camp value, and I know that people who like the books are probably, pulling their hair out.
Oh, and I brought the furball back in. I can go back. I guess now we're on Martin's knowledge of Abby and Julie, which is number 4 on the document. I know we kind of
Yeah,
strayed
I
away from it and
know.
started reading from the chat.
And I would put
Um,
that graphic up for you if I could, but I do not.
that's okay. I can just read from it for now.
Okay.
So let's see here. Martin seems to have impossible knowledge of Abby and Julie, and it's a major point of contention and fuels many theories. He asks Boyd, "Do you ever wonder if Abby was right?" and later calls Julie by name without having met her. So there are some theories, um, such as A, Martin's knowledge could be supernatural or entity driven. Um, Leninap on Reddit states that Martin's knowledge of Abby suggests he is omnipotent or reincarnated, though less likely as he didn't recognize Boyd. Mono Woman, sorry. Parkland Media explicitly theorizes that the Kimono Woman told Martin about Abby and Julie. And the Kimono Woman spies on everyone, knows their names, and shares this information with creatures. Martin, she would have described Abby to Martin, including her being a Marine like Boyd and her theory about waking people up. Martin's knowledge of Julie is explained by her being the only female teen in town, the Kimono Woman sharing tales of Julie's story walking. Now, to be honest, I don't know if that's a hallucination from Notebook LM, but that sounds like that could be a theory that Spade put forth. I'm not sure. Um, he puts out a lot of videos. It's hard to keep up with them sometimes, just because I don't have the ability to keep up with everything.
It'd been
Let's
really
see.
weird if they would have kept Jade as a 18-year-old girl in a bikini, because then there would have been 2 teenage girls in From.
Hmm.
I wonder how
Actually,
that would have gone.
I watched all the Martin videos. I just haven't rewatched this one. Not recently, anyway. It's been a while because I put this together. This was like back in what, July that we had our last one, or was it August when we did the
A
first
while
part?
ago.
Yeah, 7 weeks. So yeah, probably August. Worms telepathy. TV theories proposes that the worms within Martin give him the ability to be telepathic and thus know Abby's name, suggesting all creatures in town or woods are telepathic. That I do remember. That is not a hallucination. Faceless Girl argues that Martin asking about Abby and knowing that she said, and knowing what she said is a clear switch.
Mhm.
And his tone changes and he provides information that does not seem to make sense, even if he didn't know Boyd, strongly suggesting that he's an entity. She adds that every single entity in Fromville knows every single one of the residents by name without having met them, which
Mhm.
applies to Martin. Professor Elk on Reddit suggests that evil entities in the dungeon likely talk about the townspeople, so Martin heard about them from them.
Mhm.
And DrunkPunk138 on Reddit believes Martin knew Abby and Julie's names because he was the worm host for the music box monster, acting as vessel through through which the monster accessed knowledge about the townspeople. That's actually kind of interesting. And if yeah, I kind of like that actually. It's interesting. All right,
I
next
always,
portion.
I always thought since the monsters lived underground, they just kind of heard everything that, was in the town.
Could be. They could have like a little listening like areas. Maybe they have like cups stuck in the wall that are attached to a string that come down. No.
The pipeline.
The pipeline. The cup pipeline.
You gotta spill the tea.
Yeah, spill the tea down the cup pipeline. The next theories are that are theories of Martin's knowledge being the result of time or cycles. So Fate Decided questions how Martin knew Julie's name without meeting her, as he didn't initially know Boyd. They hypothesize it's due to Julie's time manipulation, as she was always meant to go there. Food Fight on, or sorry, oh, Food Fight, spelled FUDEFITE on Reddit, theorizes
Booty
that
bites.
Martin, not Foodie Fight, Food Fight, theorizes that
Oh, I thought
Martin
it said
knows
booty bite.
Julie. The what? I'm sorry?
I thought you said booty bites.
Oh, Booty Bites. Oh, is that like are those like followers of Pete Buttigieg?
Sure.
So Food Fight theorizes that Martin knows Julie, but not Boyd, because he joins Fromville in the future after Boyd has died, but while Julie is still alive. There's also I think that there's also possibility that she travels back in time, that he could know her from, back in the day before then. Cinephoria 130 suggests that Julie in the future travels to Martin, explaining how he knows her name.
Mm.
And Organic Row 5097 on Reddit states that Martin obviously knows them at some point in the timeline. Littering Act 4059 on Reddit suggests that Martin is a past incarnation of one of the three, Julie, Marielle, or Randall, making him a storywalker who would know Boyd and Julie. Bingetown Jim on Reddit debunks theories of Martin being Randall or Ethan because he asked Boyd. Let's see. He debunks theories of tries to debunk theories of Martin being Randall or Ethan because he asked Boyd if he's from the town, suggesting he doesn't know him. Yet he knows Abby and Julie, which would be inconsistent unless time travel is involved.
Or he's sus.
Yeah.
I think he's
All
a
right.
trickster.
That brings us to section 5, and let's see what folks are saying. Oh, and I probably shouldn't actually look at it on the screen here. So that's where I was keeping track.
So that's what my whole band's name is going to be, is Booty Bites and the Doppelganger Virgins.
Hey, I kind of like that.
I'll start working on that.
Michael says, not that it necessarily means anything, but if the writers didn't know about it, but it sounds like "oorah" didn't become a common saying until the 1950s. Ah, okay. So that could be a clue too, which would seem to maybe put a limit on to how early Martin might have appeared in Fromville.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, if we go by that saying, then He would have shown, he probably wouldn't have come to Fromville any earlier than the 1950s. I think that might actually be one of the latest dates that I've seen, like, so, like evidence, like time, like putting like a time to where he is, like how he looked like when he got there. I mean,
I think everybody's
no,
putting
I
like
think
1864.
yeah, no, I think there's there, Michael. I think that you might have hit on something. Because I didn't get the sense that he came from that far back, like the 1800s. I feel like he comes from the 1900s too.
Mhm.
So I feel like, yeah, I feel like he had to have appeared there after the 1950s. David says the tattoo phrase is associated with the United States Marine Corps. I'm not sure about the time period that relates to, though. Hey, Taryn's here. Hi, Taryn. I'm seeing you at like 13 minutes late, but hi.
Oh, you're still here?
David says Campbell created the hero's journey from the monomyth, and Jung created the 12 archetypes of the unconscious from the same information. The monomyth was a conclusion of comparing multiple cultures and mythologies throughout time.
Yeah, it's kind
Taryn
of like,
asks, oh, sorry.
from
Go
what
ahead.
I've heard, it's kind of like they don't know if like all these myths developed separately, or there were things like the Silk Road where people traveled the Silk Road and just brought their myths with them, and everybody got a little bit of the myths and added to theirs, you know? There's like two schools of thought there. I mean,
And
I
then
think it
Taryn
probably
asks,
traveled with the Silk Road and other trade routes, but I mean, that's just me.
and Taryn asks if we ever did a deep dive into the Newfoundland connections. No, we have not yet.
Are you going to?
At least not specifically into that. I don't know if we're gonna do one specifically on that, but we'll probably get into a little bit more of that when we get to like the town itself. And Michael asks, never mind, they didn't use Ura, just Semper Fi and No Man Left Behind. He did a quick rewatch of that scene, and then when he sees the tattoo. Oh, okay. All right. So then we still don't know. We're still left to like anywhere from the 1800s on. I think it was like late 1800s on, right?
Mm-hmm. I
Michael
think it was
says,
around
my thing.
1964 because that year was featured, written in the lighthouse. And it was
Okay.
also, I think it was also on the piece of paper that Boyd got, and hopefully it's 1864 because my memory is not the best.
And then Michael says, my thinking is along the lines that the knowledge comes from the cicada entity possessing Martin, which seems to have considerable knowledge about the town and its events, and uses it to mess with Boyd. That would make sense. And as to how the entity or monsters might know things, I'm sorry, pause so people can read that before I move on to the next part. And then the next part is as to how the entities or monsters might know things. It's possible that they have animal spies.
Mm-hmm. The dogs.
And then the next one, oh yeah, like the dogs, the
Mm-hmm.
crows, maybe even the rats. And then Michael points out,
Mm-hmm.
not unlike Hugin and Munin, the ravens that would observe the world in the day, then whisper in Odin's ears each night. Yep, and we have a lot of people theorize that the crows are spies, or even the monsters during the day, which I don't think so. But it could be that they send their minds into the crows, or they astral project as crows. Michael says, "Oh yeah, and what's that? That's in Norse mythology." David Geel says, "Booty bites and doppelganger versions." Oh yeah, and oh we have another Michael here. Hi, Michael Deach. Um, he says, "I'm so confused. I don't really have theories anymore." Oh, And AAMM asks, what if Martin just went through a faraway tree and got trapped in the dungeon that way? That's what I think happened, too. That's what I think happened. But I
You know,
could be wrong there.
you know what threw me for a loop for the longest time, and I had to get back on the train was the showrunners saying that Ankui didn't really mean anything.
Yeah, well, I think they said that John Griffin made it up, right? And I think that
Yeah,
he did make it up, but he didn't make it up out of nowhere. I think it was
yeah.
a word that he made up by combining other words, because it does seem to, like, I don't know, it just seems too coincidental that it's like Angakut, which
Yeah.
is the Inuit shaman. Um,
hmm
and then
Yeah.
there was another term that it reminded me of too,
hmm
that I can't remember right off the top of my head right now. And then David says guardians and guides. Yep, Angakut is plural. Yeah, Michael points out. All right, and then this stuff is all. I think this is all a little bit of notes that were meant for the next section. Just look this over quick. Yeah, this section that I have here, I compiled some of the notes I had started gathering on Music Box Monster and the cicadas. I don't want to dive right into those yet because I kind of want to give them a little bit more focus. So I'm gonna save that. So I'm gonna skip over the Music Box Monster and the worms.
Read really fast if you want to know.
Let's see. Here's a couple of things though. The worms and their purpose. The movie blog describes the little worm-like movies. I think that's supposed to be movements, noticeably visible beneath the surface of Martin's skin. I don't think there are worm-like movies underneath the skin. It's movements. Martin has a scratch on his arm in the same exact spot where he scratches Boyd.
Mm.
And okay, so from Wiki and the music blog confirm that Martin transfers these worms to Boyd, stating "My blood is your blood." Martin's dying words to Boyd suggests that could be religious or ritualistic, like ritualistic merging of destinies, or shared lineage, or symbolic transfer of the burden of power, of a burden or power. And our friend the JH Review suggests that "My blood is your blood" could mean Martin is Abby's dad and Boyd's blood is his grandchild's, tying into a cyclical generational curse. That's actually pretty interesting because that ties into Debbie Ebby Bo Bebby's theory that Martin is Abby's dad, and that kind of fleshes that out a bit more. So there could be some there actually.
Does
Purpose
he have
of
that? Does he have that sleepwalking gene?
right? Yeah, does he have the sleepwalking gene? Oh, I don't
Yeah.
know.
I mean, maybe that's how he knows everybody, all the names in the family.
Oh, she's asking for water. I'm wondering why she's whining.
Or your dog?
Yeah.
Your dog's thirsty.
Yep, that she was. All right, let's see. Film pro quo and TV theories interpret Monster's transfer of the worms as his only way to achieve death and free himself of suffering. Mr. 8180 on Reddit believes Martin gave Boyd the worms knowing they would infect the town.
And also
Faceless
knowing that,
girl.
and Boyd, also knowing that Boyd wouldn't kill him when he said, "Kill me."
Right. And the faceless girl suggests Boyd freeing Martin, or the entity, and getting the worms was a negative and a setup, ultimately leading to Smiley's rebirth and not helping anyone. Film Pro Quo clarifies that Boyd bringing the worms back was not planned by Martin or anyone else, that it might have been unplanned. Some believe that the worms were initially a boon of protection for Boyd, despite attracting the music box forces. Boyd then weaponized them to kill the monster. I do remember theories too that the worms cured Boyd of his Parkinson's, and that apparently was not the
Parkinson's,
case,
yeah.
as they illustrated in season at the end of season 3 a little bit. And Mr. Fish and Loaves on Reddit notes that Martin giving Boyd the worms ultimately killed Smiley, which gives him pause about Martin being evil. Amarian Lord, AMARRIAN_Lord on Reddit posits that the entity needs to feed on a living human subject infected with the worm blood to sustain itself physically, and Martin was the current and last of the 3 it had left. Urupski thinks the worms are cicada larvae, which would be nymphs, cicada nymphs, meant to kill Boyd, but he passed them to Smiley. And Snow White Camp Cat on Reddit believes that sacrificing a monster such as Smiley was worth releasing the cicadas, which can take out 3 people, to the power
Power the
to
weather.
power the weather. Yeah.
So it's like a Matrix thing where they use them as a human battery.
Right. Yeah, maybe.
And what kind of weather? And that one makes me curious.
Actually, I'm going to read this passage on the music box monster anyway, because it's short, and we're going to get to a lot more later, because it's just grabbing stuff that was tied to Martin. So FromWiki describes the music box monster as linked to an aged music box, which acts as harbinger of the monster's presence. The dungeon is the lair of this monster, it seems. Igor of Geek Academy and FromWiki state that Martin warns Boyd to escape before the music stops. Parkland Media suggests that Music Box is a cursed object, and its music acts as a dog whistle for other evil beings, summoning them when played. And Dan_ on Reddit indicates that the monster inside the music box tried to break Boyd mentally and control him. Film Pro Quo and Music Box Monster FromWiki, I don't know what it's saying there. Film Pro Quo anyway, and FromWiki state that the music box monster uses music as a game to give people hope. Linked to the nursery rhyme. And Faceless Girl on YouTube points out that the contradiction that the music box is still playing when Boyd, Sarah, and Kenny return to the ruins, even though Martin says they come when the music stops, implies that Martin was not telling the truth.
Do you think there's a connection between the music box monster and the jukeboxes in the cafe or diner?
No, not really. I think those are probably tied to the Man in Yellow. I could be wrong though.
Because it's using music in the same way as the nursery rhyme to, like, you know, with Kenny and Celebration to mess with their emotions.
I think that might just be a commonality that a lot of those have. Yeah, for those monsters anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's something I hadn't really thought about before. So I'll have to give that more thought.
Yeah, I was just thinking about all the music they use in the show and the, like, you know, the songs that are personal, like Boyd's If I Had a Pony song, and like they're, you know, kind of connected to like when the nursery rhyme came out too, and the bus driver knew the nursery.
Yeah, it could be.
All that.
It could be, because I mean, Music Box Monster, that kind of fits too if it was associated with other music boxes, like a jukebox. Let's see, the cicadas. Actually, yeah, this is really short. All right, evolution of the worms. Music box monster state. Oh, from Wiki states that the worms are believed to evolve into cicadas, which are a physical manifestation of the music box monster. Ashley KM and Movie Vibes um, connect the cicadas to rebirth and immortality in Chinese folklore, resonating with the monster's immortality through child sacrifice. Cicadas also symbolize personal change and spiritual realization. Welcome to the Dark Side views cicadas as a huge signal, an important plot device, often appearing as a warning before haunted events, with their song growing louder and becoming an active threat, choking people, such as choking people.
Mm.
Randall, Marielle, and Julie, affected by the cicada music box entity, experience a cicada sleep, and it's theorized that it grants them different abilities and knowledge. Baby Clay, YouTube, discusses Julie, Randall, and Marielle's cicada reunion and suggests that Randall will play a hero role, believing Randall was contacted by an entity during his cicada sleep. Baby Clay YT observes Julie is acting differently after the cicada sleep, more distant and more knowledgeable, and theorizes Marielle was contacted by an entity and told she was there to deliver Fatima's baby. All right, before I move on to connections with other monsters, let's see what's in the chat. And taking a quick look through here to see how much more content I have. Okay, we already covered the esoteric section, so remember we skipped ahead last time. And okay. All right, so what do we got in the chat? I'll have to try to get through it a little quickly because we're running short on time. I know Julie's packing and wants to cut this well, doesn't want to cut this, but we don't want to keep this running too late.
Yeah. Well, I want to sleep sometime too.
You don't need sleep. Come on. No, I'm kidding. Can't you just charge your head
I
like
kind
I
of have
do?
a good
No.
sleep. My other lives end at 1 a.m., so I've gotten in the habit of going to sleep.
Yeah, that's a big difference in time. AAMM said, wait, hold on. Oh, I went too far down. All right, so okay. So AAMM says, yeah, I feel like he went through a tree, got stuck, and someone has to help free Martin, like Julie helped Boyd. Either that, or I think Martin could just be an entity. They're all part of the game. Michael says, Blood Brothers ritual transferring. Oh, okay. Michael says it was like a. I should clarify. Michael Gmerkin says it's like a Blood Brothers ritual, transferring blood curse nymphs from Martin to Boyd, which Boyd then repeats the ritual with Smiley. Does seem like the worms perhaps does seem like the worms were perhaps keeping Martin alive to some degree, or not letting him die, hence asking Boyd to kill him, while also feeding on him. Then David says Miranda, Tabitha, Christopher, Jade, Victor, Ethan, Martin, and Boyd. Old cycle, new cycle. I do see those parallels too, because Victor and Ethan have all these very obvious parallels. And I think maybe they'll tie that to, Victor being Miranda's son, and Ethan being Tabitha's son, and Tabitha being a reincarnation of Miranda. So yeah, I do see like there's kind of like a cycle there. And I do think that there is possibility that Victor and Ethan are concurrent incarnations, but that could be a stretch. But actually, maybe not with this series, because I mean they're jumping around in time and stuff, and we got Tabitha interacting with basically three husbands in one episode, right? So like maybe concurrent incarnations are a thing in this show, even if it was unintentional. Michael says, if the man in yellow is the manifestation of the cicada entity, the music box monster slash music box monster, then maybe it does have some influence on the jukeboxes. Also talks about that Jade can really play.
And also control of radios and walkie-talkies too.
Michael
Sound in
says,
the air.
Oh, sorry.
This is sound in the air. Control the sound in the air. The music and the spheres, I guess.
Maybe. Michael says, saw somewhere an interesting interpretation of the nursery rhyme. One, they touch, such as Kenny's arm in his dream. Two, they break, the lady who dies in her sleep. And didn't she get broken? And three, they steal. Three people's souls / minds or something. And Amy says, I start seeing things like I'm dreaming if I stay awake too long. Yeah, that happens to everyone. From Wiki, From Wiki says that Reggie explains that she was resting while he was downstairs and heard her screaming. He tried to wake her, but she was talking in her sleep before. It was as if her entire body cracked. Ah. So Reggie explains that that woman who died from in her sleep. I can't remember her name, but anyway, she was resting while he was downstairs and heard her screaming, and he tried to wake her, but she was talking in her sleep, and it was as if her entire body cracked. So yeah, she could be the break. They break. Oh,
Well, and the monsters also steal stuff. They have a whole bunch of stuff down below. They've taken.
And okay, now for number 6, connections to other Fromville mysteries. This will be about Martin's character and the events surrounding him and how they're deeply entwined with the broader mysteries of Fromville. So that's section 6. I have to scroll up so I can see. Okay. All right, so it says, let's talk a little bit about the theories connecting Martin to the man in yellow. And all right, so here we have it's trying to quote Julie again. Let's see if it's getting it right this time. It says here, JulieBDeepDives believes the man in yellow is the big bad or working for one, who wants to keep the cycle going and forbids knowledge. Now, of course, these are based on her old videos. It's not based on streams, so it's taking some stuff right out of her man in yellow.
Yeah.
Okay, are you serious? This is really crazy, Doc. It's pulling. So the AI pulls this out of my videos.
No, I put your video. I load because I take all the websites that I look at and the videos that I watch, and I put them on in Notebook LM, and then it can extract information from them. But sometimes it does it wrong.
That's wild.
Yeah. And so
I've never seen it do that with my stuff before. That's
so
cool.
this might be outdated. Oh yeah, I've made podcasts with just your stuff to see how it sounds. And so is Grant. Grant made one too, or made a couple of them. I listened to them. I think he had posted them.
He did. Yeah, that was awesome. So cool. It's trippy. Like
It is trippy.
I've seen AI summaries of my channel and what I do. It's like, because you can like ask like ChatGPT like what is my channel about, and it'll like tell you. It's just so weird. It trips me out. Anyway, go on.
I think when if I remember right, when ChatGPT like first came out and I asked it who Kaiju was, it like just made up all kinds of stuff about me. I think it had like some stuff that was correct, but then a lot of stuff that like it just completely made up. And there was a more recent one that I asked, and it had everything correct, but it made me sound like I was freaking amazing.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it says that you believe the man in yellow is the big bad or working for one.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's accurate.
And who wants to keep the cycle going and forbids knowledge. He was the voice on the radio telling Jim, your wife shouldn't have dug that hole. You also think that he can change his voice and was the voice of Thomas on the phone. I think that too. Gaslighting Jim and Ethan.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tony of Teflon TV believes that the boy in white was the voice on the radio to Jim, knowing about Tabitha digging the hole, and that the boy in white is not a boy or human appearing as a man in the opening credits. And Tony believes the man in yellow could be one of the big bads as well. Then
Cool.
connection to their theories about connection to Randall. Ashley KM on Reddit theorizes that the man in yellow is Randall, citing a shared facial scar and similar traits. She believes monsters putting a scar on Randall made him the man in yellow. The Faceless Girl debunks Randall as the man in yellow, noting that the scar on the show's man in yellow is not on doesn't it doesn't match the actor from the painting. He doesn't have one in like he only has one in the painting, it seems, and that could just be the painting. And the man in yellow was inspired by a real person that John Griffin saw, who changed from joyful to ragged. Ashley KM links the man in yellow to the king in yellow lore. Forbidden knowledge, malevolent force, Carcosa parallels to Fromville, and Martin's, let's see, and Fate Decided suggests that Martin could be the man in yellow appearing in different forms. Martin's fear of they coming when the music stops could refer to the man in yellow. Lennon app on Reddit proposes that Martin is a good entity who made a bad deal with the man in yellow. Then we have theories about the chosen three and sacrifices, such as Music Box Monster, as from Wiki states, lists victims for the nursery rhyme. They touch, they break, they steal, no one here is free. Here they come for three, unless you stop the melody. So from Wiki proposes that Kenny is the touch, Paula the break, and Julie and Randall and Marielle the steal are linked. Hey, isn't that just what Michael said? Old Boy Z thinks that Martin is one of the three mentioned in the nursery rhyme. Martin was chained along two other skeletons, so the three pattern is echoed later with Julie, Marielle, and Randall being chained in a similar manner. So it does kind of seem like it's a repeating thing. But we do have that contradiction with the Sarah quote. So they'll have to explain that away somehow, maybe. I don't know. But zealous ideal underscore fix underscore 181 on Reddit suggests that the chains are meant to keep at least one of the three still alive, indicating a recurring sacrificial or containment purpose within the cycle. Night Stalker Joe 2 asks if the three people the entity took from town were chained like Martin, or if it's different. Complete Code 9095 on Reddit finds a theory about souls marked for the same task, like Martin, Randall, Julie, Marielle, and other skeletons, to be much more reasonable. Marian Lord asks if the new three, Julie, Randall, Marielle, are replacing Martin and the other two skeletons, also suggesting the cyclical nature to the imprisonment. Igor of Geek Academy and mentions that the ancient residents' sacrifice of seven children created the town for their immortality. And Julie reveals that the monsters are actually the parents of the loved ones. Well, you didn't reveal that. The show revealed that. But Julia talked about how monsters are actually the parents and loved ones of the Ankui children, who sacrificed them for immortality, but were tricked into becoming nightmare creatures. Topagan theorizes that the man in yellow sacrificed his daughters in a ritual to seal away the cicada demon, and the Ankui kids' souls power this prison. I have to reread that again. I'm getting a little sleepy. Topagan, Topegan, is the name on Reddit, theorizes that the man in yellow sacrificed his daughters in a ritual to seal away the cicada demon, and the Ankui kids' souls power this prison. Okay. And just one moment, because I just realized I might have forgotten to drop a link in here. Yep, I did. I forgot to drop Taryn's link. All right, so here's a link to Taryn's channel. I didn't accidentally click anything, did I? Nope. All right. Okay, so before I go over to the next question, in the next section, Julie, Scarlett, do you have anything you want to add in?
What was that, Doc?
Do you or Scarlett have anything you want to chime in before I move onto the chat?
No, I think that pretty much sums it up pretty well. I like how this populated so many different users' theories and different content creators and whatnot. I find it funny that it that it mistakenly said I revealed that the monsters are the parents of the Ankui kids. That was
Right,
funny.
because it doesn't understand the show outside the context of the material that I give it.
I chuckled at that while I was muted. But anyway, so yeah, is there anything here in the chat that we need to highlight?
Let's see. Michael asks if Martin implied he was in Vietnam or something. Might be. Oh wait, hold on. That's really behind. It actually.
Yeah, that
Sorry,
was.
my chat got moved by
Yeah,
accident. There we go. All right.
Right here.
Okay, so Michael says, yeah, that might have been what I saw or read. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think he was referring to this, the three stanzas.
Yeah.
Seems like the three stanzas are maybe referring to things the cicadas or entity do. That's what I think too, because it doesn't really make sense to describe Randall, Julie, and Marielle with they touch, they break, they steal. Is that what he's talking about as in terms of stanzas?
Yeah, I think so.
Because the cicadas touch, they touched Kenny in his dream, jumped out of the pot and touched him. They break, they broke open Paula in her sleep, and they steal. They stole the spirits of Julie, Marielle, and Randall and brought them into the cicada, dungeon, the dungeon dream state. So they touch, they break, they steal. No one here is free. Here they come. They come for three, meaning the cicada entities. Yeah, they came for three, unless you stop the melody. So it's definitely, it has to be referring to things the cicadas do. The cicada entity.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, Amy, we did cover that. Well, I mean, I did respond to that. Yeah, no, we haven't done a deep dive onto the Newfoundland connections, at least not specifically. We'll probably get into that more when we talk about the town, because I want to do a focused FROMacademy on like the town itself. I've been gradually orienting myself, getting myself familiar with the different maps, the different drawings that seem like they could be map related and things like that to kind of prep myself. But that's a little bit of a work in progress. So I'm moving that towards like later on. So probably like in a few more weeks, maybe we'll get to that.
I wonder
And then Michael
the
asks, oh, go ahead.
I wonder if the nursery rhyme is generational too, because the bus driver said that she heard her grandmother say it. The nursery rhyme. Could be secular too.
Could be.
The cicadas were always here.
Yeah, because that made me wonder if it was like a nursery rhyme that was actually popular outside of Fromville, or if she had some tie to Fromville, and it was implied, that she did have a tie to Fromville because she knew the nursery rhyme. And that does also seem to imply that there were, if so, then there were previous cycles of the music box monster going and doing, its thing. There's already a nursery rhyme about it that people know. So if that was really the music box monster's first adventure, then that wouldn't make sense within context of the nursery rhyme, right? So I don't know. Sarah's claimed that maybe I misinterpreted what Sarah said. I have to go back and see that again. That could also just be an inconsistency. So Michael says, with respect to controlling radios, jukeboxes, perhaps the Dr. Mabuse reference and the ambulance and on the defibrillator is a clue. IIRC Dr. Mabuse may have the same ability to control devices. Yeah, I think that might be the connection they were trying to draw there. So there may be some inspiration from the Dr. Mabuse stories. Right, I've been thinking that. Now, it's funny because we've been meaning to do movie nights and watch some of the Dr. Mabuse films, but we haven't actually done that yet. So we haven't done a Dr. Mabuse watch party yet, but we really probably should.
Yeah,
but there are a lot of Dr. Mabuse movies.
There's a few you can see on YouTube if you just type in Dr. Mabuse, or really anything. Just type it into any search engine, any streaming thing. You could probably find one you can watch for free. Like you say, there's a lot of them.
And I think the older ones were better rated than the newer ones, if I remember right. Like they had better reviews. And so even if perhaps not Dr. Mabuse himself, but inspiration of other plot elements from other mythologies. Michael agrees with the chain trio interpretation. Just one of the previous cycles, 3 possessed by the cicadas. Seems like a cycle that repeats. It really does seem like a cycle that repeats. That's why, like, what Sarah says, it doesn't sit right with me. But that could just be, like I said, just an inconsistency with the writing.
What did Sarah say exactly?
She said something about this is her first. Didn't she say something about like it's the entity's first time being able to touch or whatever and do things, and she loves it or it loves it or something like that. I think I must have misinterpreted what Sarah said. Either that.
Well,
or,
the entity definitely touched Sarah because it carved a message into her arm.
Well, that was a different entity though, right? Wasn't it?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I guess I don't know. I always took the take and touch and steal as being like a group of entities, not just one.
Okay.
Be they.
SL Rhodes is here. Hi, SL Rhodes.
Unless the cicada entities, that each cicada is its own entity, which is kind of disturbing to think about.
And Michael asked, was the rhyme made up about Fromville? If so, how did it get outside of Fromville for the grandma to know it? Right, that's what I've been wondering. unless she had visions of Fromville or something.
Where she got into Fromville and came out and tried to explain it to people, and they thought she was crazy.
I do wonder how many people actually might escape Fromville like Tabitha did, but I think.
But then you try to explain
Tabitha
it to
might be the
somebody,
only
and they
one.
probably just think you went mental.
Oh yeah, they totally would.
Especially if you're the only one that comes out. Or
Okay,
especially if
Michael
your
found
family
it here.
goes missing and you're the only one comes out.
Michael says she said that it got excited when it touched Kenny's arm. It was referring to the cicadas that touched Kenny's arm and burned him in his dream. Okay.
But she didn't say it was the first time.
All right, good. So yeah, that was just my misinterpretation. All right, that makes so much sense. So much more sense then. All right. Good.
It enjoys the games.
It does enjoy the games. Manipulation by entities. All right, let's see. Dan _ asserts that the entity manipulates people by appearing as trusted figures such as Abby, Father Cottry, or planting ideas and visions to prevent them from seeking answers and to keep them in town. The Faceless Girl points out that everything here lies. Everything here wants to hurt us. And the movie guru suggests that monsters change their appearance to look relatable to trick people. Boyd's role. Dan _ highlights that Boyd's survival is crucial to the entity because he is a symbol of hope, keeping the people on an emotional roller coaster of hope and despair. Julie notes that Boyd has always been Mr. Fish and Loaves, a symbol of hope, but the place is trying to break him. This stuff doesn't seem to be as related to the topic. I think it's just, here's one, Martin. Movie Blog views Martin as part of a previous test or round in this game between good and evil. And the entities use the music box to run a game that gives the inhabitants false hope. And it's also theorized that Martin's initial kind demeanor towards Boyd is seen as a manipulation tactic to lower Boyd's guard before transferring the worms. Yep. Time loops and reincarnation. So Martin's timeless presence and knowledge reinforces the strong theory that Fromville operates in a cyclical time looping nature. Senor Tortuga 308 on Reddit proposes that Fromville is a literal time loop where characters have gone through multiple loops and some remember fragments. The answer to the end are at the beginning. The answers to the end are at the beginning means that the end and beginning are at the same point in time. Characters like Tabitha and Jade are suggested to be reincarnations of past residents, such as Miranda and Christopher, who were involved in earlier cycles of the town's history. Red One, Red Rum suggests that the only way to escape from is to die and be reincarnated outside of it, and that all characters are reincarnations. And Julie states that Tabitha and Jade have been to Fromville before, as Miranda and Christopher. She didn't make that up. Sorry, chat. I'm sorry, Google. Let's see. And says here, now this could be wrong, that Michael argued at least in a Reddit post at one point that it is not a literal time loop, but a fable about the hero's journey of a shaman over the course of many lifetimes, inspired by the Inuit mythology of Kiviuk. Time progresses, but the story repeats with new incarnations. And Michael believes that Tabitha, Abby, and Miranda are all failed chosen ones from Miranda's visions. And that Miranda's visions are, and all failed chosen ones from Miranda's visions are incarnations of Kiviuk. And just one moment, I'll be right back.
Yeah, it's interesting what it said about the shaman.
Hey, yo.
Oh, hey, Karl.
My understanding is that Boyd said that after 3 hours and alive, that the monsters come out. Is that true?
Yeah, I think so. I think we can pretty much wrap this up.
Are you gonna do the esoteric and I'm waiting for the esoteric symbols.
Well, we did that. We already covered that esoteric symbolism in the
I
last
might
one.
have had to step out a few times. I had some
Yeah.
flooding in my house that I had to take care of in the last couple of days, so I've been checking to make sure there isn't more flooding. So
So what I have left on here are time loops and reincarnation. And oh wait, we just covered that.
Yeah, we
Um,
did. We got that.
And so the only part left
you can just go through that really fast,
is
and then I'll pause and I'll read it later.
is okay.
There.
And so then
There you go,
next is
Scarlet. For
Ooh,
you.
Mars, cool.
Just for you. There you go.
Yeah.
There's A.
Jesus,
B.
Mars, I get it.
eight.
I get the feel.
Okay, so there's a section 8 and a section 9 left. We can actually cover those and merge it with the music box monster.
Okay.
And see, 8 is clues about Martin consolidated, and then 9 is unanswered questions and future implications.
Okay.
But section 8 is kind of long, so yeah, I think we can wrap up tonight's, and we'll just merge those in with when we cover the music box monster in more depth.
Okay.
And we can do that next week, unless you need a break with moving. Then we can do that the week after.
Okay. Well,
Oh wait, no, I think we're gonna no, we'll do it next week. Yeah, let's do the music box monster next week if you can. If not,
Yeah.
totally cool.
yeah, I think let's plan on next week. It sounds good to me.
Maybe we can arrange something a little special for our fans here. Oh,
Yeah,
and
maybe.
Karl, welcome. We can finally hear you.
We're gonna dress Karl up in
Hi,
a
sexy
ballerina
Doc.
outfit.
It's nice to speak to you again.
Yeah, definitely.
So we'll dress Karl up like the music box monster, like a ballerina for the next one.
Yeah, let's do it. You have to appear on cam, and you gotta take some lessons first too. I want to see you twinkling those toes.
That would be a show. That would be quite a show. Yeah.
Is that for the
I'm
that
lighter
could
on
be a
my feet
cicada.
than you even realize, my friend.
I would believe it.
I'm here.
Who's here?
Knock knock.
I thought I heard someone say I'm here.
The cicadas are here, Doc.
Cicadas are here. They're
Knock,
coming
knock.
for me. It's my sleep deprived brain because I got distracted and went longer than we were supposed to. But yeah, so let's wrap things up for the night.
Which is
Does
shorter than
anyone
we've
else
ever been before, so
does anyone have anything else they want to say before we close things out, or does anyone have anything else to promote?
I'm good. Good night, Amy. And next week, I mean, the plan is, ideally to do the next live with Doug on Wednesday, but if things go horribly wrong with my packing for this immense move that I'm undertaking, then I'll keep you guys posted early in the week. I may have to postpone that one because I'm really in over my head here packing everything I own as a massive pack rat. So stay tuned on the story time with Doug. I may have to postpone that one, but we will do the FROMacademy on Friday with Doc, and that's one that requires less prep for me. There's a lot more prep. I've gotta reread the section of the book and take notes for the live with Doug. And Doc does such an amazing job here, just doing all this research and populating it, and it just takes a load off of me. So so right now that's definitely gonna happen, unless again unless something catastrophic were to happen, and then I couldn't do it for some reason related to my move preparations. But yeah, we'll plan on the Music Box Monster theme for next Friday, 12:30 a.m. Eastern. Although, actually, I don't know if we're changing the time at all. Well, stay tuned on that. I'm not 100% sure what time it's going to be. We will make an announcement early in the week. And other than
Yeah,
that,
because that might be a
yeah.
shorter work day that day. I think we have fewer. I think we only have one doctor that night
Okay.
at work.
So yeah, so we'll keep everybody posted on when the next FROMacademy time will be. And really appreciate everybody who threw their awesome theories and ideas into the chat as always. And and just hung out with us here tonight. Thank you so much. It's been awesome to do another FROMacademy for the first time in almost 2 months. I really missed this. I love doing these, and thank you so much for all your hard work, Doc, as always. Thank you, Scarlet. Thank you, Karl. Thank you to the chat. Appreciate all of you guys so much.
Thank you. You're very welcome.
And we appreciate you too, Julie.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're okay, Julie. You're okay.
Well, it's an appreciation society. It's a mutual appreciation society all around. Awesome.
Yeah, I have to
And we
say
appreciate the chat as well.
I definitely appreciate all three of you. Like this, I was so excited about coming on tonight because I really missed you all, and this has been a lot of fun. It would have been better if Karl's mic was working sooner, but that's okay. He was active in the chat and he was helping us out.
Yes, he was. And I appreciate it. And hey, Michael, TJ, see you in the chat. And Michael, thank you. You are a rock star with your theories as always. Thank you so much for all your contributions. You're amazing. Glad you're back on the air. Thank you so much. And thank you for the well wishes on the move. It's right now it's chaos, but hopefully it will all work out. And
It will.
yeah.
Believe.
I'm gonna try to speak in more hopeful terms, and yes, it will. It not just hope, it will work out. It will. Okay. So okay, thank you guys so much. I'm glad we got to do this again finally, and we'll see you next Friday. As of now, that's the plan. Thank you, AA. Appreciate it. Everything will work out just fine. I need to manifest that. Yes, I will work on that.
Now I got that. Mackie will come around. I really want Mackie to come around. I don't have my bell, but it's it's past 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Mackie, bell.
Yeah, Mackie hasn't manifested in a while.
I conjure thee.
Now I got that in my head, Michael. Yeah. Don't stop believing. Yes. Great song. I'll make that my theme song for the week. Okay. Awesome. Took a screenshot for next week for Michael. All right. Well, have a good day or good night, everybody, wherever you're at. Appreciate you all so much. And we will see you next week. And
Auf Wiedersehen.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Adios. Buenas noches.
Yeah. That's a theory creaking open, baby.
Yo, welcome to the screen where the plot gets bent. Julie B deep dives, not just for content. She don't react, she dissects those threads from the lens. Catching clues y'all missed when the credits end. What you know about freeze framing frames and while you blinking, she building an evidence drum. Got a notebook bigger than the lore itself. In a chat full of nerds with a mental health shelf. Yeah, she sees the glitch, peep the double cross. You just watching TV, she talk to the boss. Every theory and thesis, no throwaway guess. While y'all on season 1, she in season X. Said rewind is slow show it, zoom in enhance. Julie B caught the symbol in the window glance. While you tweeting what just happened like a clown, she already made a flow chart, color-coded breakdown.
They don't die like us. They don't vibe like us. They binge and they bounce. We revive that trust. They skip intros, we wear refrain. You watch shows, we decode the game. They don't die like us. Nah, they don't die like us.
She cracked Severance before y'all knew it was deep. Predicted the last of us, drafts in her sleep. When the camera pans, she ain't blinking once. Catch a ghost in the glass, call it theory punch. Watch parties lit like apocalypse nights. Call-ins while they bringing alien rights.
Hey Julie, I think the trees are spies. Well, I have a spreadsheet that confirms that, guys.
Zoom in, boom in, she moving through clues. Spinning Discord in the courtrooms, Lord of views. Got mods with receipts. Time stands with heat. Every rewatch turns into a Reddit elite. You stuck on the surface, we beneath with maps. Cross-referencing lore with the rector's caps. If your fave show got secrets, don't be dumb. Julie got the chalkboard out From's where it's from.
They don't dive like us. They don't vibe like us. They skim the edge. We inside that crust. They zone out, we zone in the pain. You say plot twist, we say nope, chain. They don't dive like us. Nah, they don't dive like us.
What's that?
That ain't a blooper, that's a plot thread. You thought it was a shadow? She thought it was a coded message from season 3. And she's probably right. Step this way if your mind's unbent. Step that way if your theories pay rent. Say Julie B, deep dive queen. Now zoom, scroll, theorize, pull. Ain't no rabbit hole safe once she got the cloud.
They don't